do the diary for the rest of the day.
Jesus.
So you may as well just tell us then, like.
Right, well, yeah, after that, went back in. Suzanne just got frustrated with me because I was rolling about on the floor and she was trying to watch Arthur, right? So that was on the other night.
I thought it was when you lodge her.
So,
and she said, look, if you're in pain, do something. She said, you know...
You went and got a cold plate.
Yeah. No, use an ashtray. Plates are for liver damage.
She said, right, come on. Let's, actually, I can't put up with this. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. So we left the flat, what have you. Got in a taxi. He filled up on the way, which was annoying.
He did it.
That is cheeky.
That really, I mean,
On the way to the hospital.
So,
because he's not an ambulance driver.
Did you explain that to where you were going
I was in that sort of thing where you just can't be bothered. Do you know what I mean? I was in the sweat and stuff.
He came back with a scratch card and some barbecue
briquettes.
Yeah.
So anyway, he gets us there and he doesn't charge us, which is pretty decent.
That's all right, yeah.
So I go in and he's like, I don't know if you've been in like A&E at like 2:30 in the morning. It's just depressing. Fluorescent light doesn't help because it makes everyone look iller than they actually are. So in there was a woman who was just sat there crying. She wasn't holding onto any part of the body. She was just sat there whinging. And when you're feeling bad, you've got that going on. So you just want to tell her to shut up. There was a fella who was like moped over in a wheelchair that someone had just chucked in.
Moped over?
It looked like somebody had just sort of found him and wheeled him in.
Nurse? Who's the guy moped over?
So this gay fella came through.
How do you know he was gay?
Just the way he was. I'm not having a go. He was a good fella. Do you know what I mean?
A doctor, you mean?
No, he was a nurse.
Right.
And he came through and just sort of went, oh, how are you? And I was like, oh, better days. So he got...
As you mentioned in the diary, I remember the first time when I came here, they said the nurse might put a tablet up my arse. I thought the chances of that happening had just increased.
Oh, Carl!
Yeah, but I would have let him do it, honestly. I was that sort of out of it.
Of course you'd let him do it. He's a qualified nurse.
No, but the way I am now, say if it was just a tablet for sorting out my blood pressure, and I walked in there and he went, oh, hello. And he said, yeah, let's pop that. I'd go, hang on a minute. But what I mean is, that night, I would have just let him put 3 up, honestly. It's just weird, isn't it, how your body just goes, let them get on with it, and you trust anyone, don't you? When you're in that much pain and you need...
And they're a qualified nurse, yes.
They gave me some morphine, and we sort of head caved in again like last time, and then the pain went. But anyway, just turns out that I'd had a load of like blood clots in the bit from my kidney to my bladder, and that was acting as a sort of a stone again.
Oh, it's just a scab, isn't it, where it's curing it? So.
No, but all the work, when they blew up the kidney 4 times its normal size, so there was no hiding place for the stone.
Yeah.
So when they did that, it caused a lot of blood. It must have ripped the sides of it and stuff. And then that blood was in the kidney, and it went down the pipe and blocked it up a little bit. And that's the pain that I had. It was sort of, had problems getting through all this thick blood that it caused. So the weirdest thing that happened when I was in there, right? The morning, like after I'd had the morphine and what have you, right? I slept pretty well. But I woke up and you have like a telly for your own bed, like you're allowed to use if you pay for it, right? So the glow from that woke me up because they come on at about 7:10, and the telly's in front of your head, right? So you're getting this glow and you're going, oh, what's that now? And I looked at it, and all it had written on it is, Karl received bad news about your father. Right? And I was like, is this what they do now? Because it's such a big hospital that they just text you sort of news to your bed. And I was kind of like, like I say, it was early, it was 7:10 or whatever. What's going on? I didn't have my mobile, Suzanne took that. And I was looking at it, I read it again, I thought, it might come up with more, like, what's up with him? Turns out it was just a review for Neighbours. It just tells you... It tells you what's on the telly that day. And there's some fellow in Neighbours who's called Carl, whose dad went bad. So that sort of woke me up a bit. I had a bit of a shock then. It was kind of like... So I was wide awake at like 7:15 in the morning because my heart went a bit fast because I thought something had happened to me dad.
Karl, of course, has written a poem about the experience entitled My Ward.
All I've done here, I've been through I don't know what the word is, a bad experience.
Trauma.
A trauma, yeah. I've been through a load of trauma. So I'm just finishing it off with a little sort of picture for people.
Go on then.
In my ward. And it's called my ward. Me, a Chinese fella, and an old bloke who looked like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. Don't know what was wrong with him, but breaking wind was the symptoms. No one visited him or called him. He seemed quite lost to me. As well as wind problems, he had a colostomy. When I left, I said, "See you" to the old man. Turned out the other fella wasn't Chinese, he was from Japan. I never found out what was up with him. You got a little picture there, haven't you, of me sat in my ward. I'm sat there with that fella who I didn't talk to, the old fella who had wind problems. And that's what a poem is, isn't it?
But the detail about you thought he was Chinese and he turned out to be Japanese, how is that evocative? That's just a piece of misinformation.
It's just
I like it.
I imagine a lot of people make
I
that
like
same
it, because
mistake.
you know why? It's like, he even makes digressions within his poem.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like he could have gone back and erased that, but he didn't. He left that digression in, and I think that's great.
To be honest.
Yeah. So, you've done quite a few bits there from the diary, right? The other week you were saying a diary to sort of be famous and what have you, it's got to have a big event in it. That's a big event in my life, right? Mm. Peeps did a diary that had big events in it. You said about the fire on Pudding Lane. I had a kidney stone then.
You write about puddings you've had.
So is that as big as... Is that a proper diary thing?
It's a proper diary anyway.
I think personally, the 5 or 6 pages you've written about your ill health are genuinely interesting, and I'm sure in years to come it will be an interesting evocation of the NHS at this modern age and how it is, what it's like to be in hospital.
What other diaries are out there?
Well, a lot of them are fictional, of course, Bridget Jones and the like. There are lots of memoirs, but to publish a whole diary, I mean, you can
the two most famous diaries I'd have thought was Pepys and Anne Frank.
But Kenneth Williams' diaries were published after his death. Many celebrity diaries have been published. Alec Guinness, people like that.
And is that just there last year, or did they do it when they were doing a lot? Because if they're old and sort of not working well, a diary isn't that good.
Well, often the moments prior to their passing are some of the most interesting. You see their final thoughts and final days.
Yeah, but you say different things when you're ill. When I was on that table about to go under and you're thinking this might be it, different thoughts on the world. Do you know what I mean? Different priorities.
What's the most profound thing that you thought that it was because of your illness?
Just as I went under, the last thing I said to this woman was, "Oh, you look different with that on."
Oh, you look different with a hat on?
Yeah, it was a woman who gave me the injection, and she'd been round to the bed beforehand, sort of saying, "Right, you're allergic to this. Can you eat strawberries?" And I was a bit like, "Why are you asking me that?" And she went, "Well, no, a lot of people are allergic to strawberries." And I was saying, "But is there any trace of strawberries in the stuff?" She's like, "No, it's just that a lot of people are." And I said, "Well, no, I eat them." And then she's like, "What about fish?" And I said, "I like some, but I haven't had them all." And then she turned to Suzanne at that point and said, "Well, do you know of anything you can't eat?" She sort of said...
Like turning to the mother?
Yeah.
When the child can't answer?
But this woman, and she didn't have a hat on or anything. And then when I went down there, I didn't realise it was the same woman until I was lying there and she started to inject me. And I just said, "Oh, you look different with that on." And then I went out, and when I woke up, the woman sort of came round and just sort of said, "Oh, it's weird, that was the last thing, like you said." And that made me think that could have been my last, like fighting on the beaches or whatever. That could have been my little thing.
You look different with a hat on, Karl Pilkington.
Oh, God.
In its own way, it's quite wise. People do look different with hats on.
I think his last words will be something like, "Can this kill you?"
Yeah. Suzanne, can you drink bleach?
So that's it. That's the end of this series, the 3rd series of the Ricky Gervais Show. We'll have to give it a rest for a while, won't we?
I'm exhausted.
Thank you, everyone who bought the series. All 24 episodes we've ever done are available on iTunes. So, if you haven't heard them, but maybe we should do a free one now and again over the coming years. Should we retire from podcasting and audiobooks. We've made our point, haven't we?
I think we've made the point, yeah. I mean, you always leave them wanting more. And let's be honest, we passed that long ago. So we may as well stop now, as good a time as any.
Let's never say never, but for quite a while, it's goodbye from me, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant.
Goodbye.
And Karl Pilkington.
All right.
Monkey news, you little roundhead.
Right, years ago, people only drank water, didn't they?
How long ago are we talking?
Going back a bit,
Okay.
and it was just the norm. Everybody was happy with that. It was kind of like, what, you're thirsty, have some water. It was just what you did. And it was more of...
Well, no, not only water.
No, it was. It was kind of like...
They drank milk at birth, didn't they?
Yeah, as a baby. But then you don't have that when you're older. What I mean is more now, as we've discussed, is more of everything. So
I thought there was fruit juices in.
yeah, but when people were thirsty, it was like, well, have water. They didn't go, what do you want? Do you want this? Do you want that? I'm just saying they had it for a purpose as opposed to something for the taste buds. Right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so this town, right? It was in the middle of nowhere somewhere.
It's the detail that makes the story, isn't it? The pinpoint accuracy of. So it was a while ago, and it was in a town somewhere. Brilliant.
In the middle of nowhere.
And what used to happen is barrels used to appear, right? These sort of, do you know like how they have wooden barrels, that beer when that comes in?
Right.
One of those used to just be in this village, and everyone who lived there was used to this sort of drink that used to crop up, right? Well, because they were used to it, they didn't question it. It was kind of like, yeah, it's what happens if you live here.
Sorry, so I don't understand. So what's in the barrel? It's a barrel in the town square.
Well, it's this drink.
And so it's not water.
It's not water.
It's a mysterious other drink.
Well, I'll tell you now. It's like a fruit drink.
Okay.
And back then, I mean, I speak to my mum, and she didn't have a banana till she met my dad, and they were made up of fruit.
Sorry, is that some euphemism?
I don't know what that means.
No, but what I mean is
he came a calling with a banana, with a bunch of bananas and said some flowers.
No, but what I'm saying is, it was like a fruit drink, and for years and years, people didn't drink fruit. It was an eaten thing. Do you know what I mean? It was an eaten thing.
It was eaten.
Yeah,
what,
it was you're thirsty, have some water. What, you're hungry, have a banana, have an orange.
Sure, but the idea of combining the two, crazy.
They never used them in that way. So anyway.
So a mysterious fruit-based drink is turning up mysteriously in this town for years. No one questions it. No one thinks.
Yeah, just because it's in that area. I'm sure, like in
Here come the little man.
No, but in the same way that in Scotland they'll have fried Mars bars and that.
Yeah.
They don't bat an eyelid at that. Yet when we go there...
Well, no, they didn't appear mysterious.
They didn't just appear one day.
I assume they go to the newsagents and take it home and pop it in some batter.
But what I'm saying is they don't think anything's odd about that. But as time goes on, people have started travelling more, haven't they? And
you have.
Visitors sort of came in to the town. And they were saying, oh, a bit thirsty, have you got any water? And they were like, I don't have water. Have some of that in that barrel. And they were like, what's that? And they were like, oh, it's a drink. So they had it, and it was really, like, refreshing. They were like, what is this? And they said, don't really know, it just crops up.
Of course they did.
No.
It's what...
No.
It's what you get if you live it. It's part of living it.
Right.
So they were like, brilliant, do you sell this? And no, they don't just sell it, we don't even know where it comes from, just have some whilst you're here.
We don't even know where it comes from.
No.
So the thing is, this helped the town out.
That's before the monkey appears. This shit.
Yeah.
So all these people are enjoying the drink. Word gets out, and it went on for a couple of years, but they say it travels fast, doesn't it? If it's good news, it travels. If it's good news or bad news, it travels fast.
So news travels fast.
Yeah, just news. Yeah, news does. So anyway, so some business...
monkey news doesn't. This has taken half an hour.
So some big business fella who was on holiday in...
Any specifics?
He was from Chicago.
Right.
And he flew
How tall
in.
was he?
Hold on, though. So this is after Chicago was founded.
Yeah, Chicago was knocking about.
Oh, they had loads of drinks then.
Yeah,
they had
alcohol.
coffee, tea, they had every drink under the sun.
Yeah, but not like...
Every drink under the sun.
Not like-
Apple juice, grape juice,
they didn't.
ciders, wines.
So he came.
Oh, Chicago was founded.
He came.
Yeah, probably 19th century. Oh, there's loads of shit about.
And he was saying, this drink you've got here, he said, it's good stuff, you know. Who does it? And they said, well, it just appears and what have you. And he said, well, that's a bit odd. So anyway, he got a bit annoyed with it because he wanted to take it back with him to Chicago. He knew there was an audience for this.
Well, yeah, because they got bored of tea, coffee, all the other drinks and
that, yeah.
So he waited at night.
Been around for years.
Waiting behind a truck.
A truck.
So we're in motorised age.
Oh, so at least 1890 something. I'd have thought.
And he saw this little fella bring the barrel out.
How little was the fella?
It's hard to tell in the dark, and they were quite far away. And the barrels, you know, it's you know what I mean. It's hard to work out.
He was short. His arms were long.
So they followed him in, right, and saw what was going on.
Okay.
Like how it was being made. And they said, you know what, we can have a go at making this ourselves. And what happened in the end, they tried to imitate it in Chicago. There was a orangey tang, right?
It was made by an orangutan, wasn't it?
And do you know grapefruit juice? They had like 8 fruit juice that they were good at crushing the fruit, the feet and what have you. And that's how them two.
So it was great 8 fruit drink.
Yeah.
Which probably got abbreviated over time.
8 fruit juice.
No, it was great 8 fruit drink. It was because it tasted great.
That is a load of shit, Carl.
That is why we stopped doing it.
Hello, welcome to number 3 in the 3rd series of the Ricky Gervais Show. With me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, hello there, and of course, Karl Pilkington.
Right.
Had a good week, Karl?
All right, just boring. It's a boring week. Because that sort of kidney operation I've had, it's just affecting my life in a big way.
How are you now, Carl? Are you feeling better?
Better than it was last week.
Because last week you really were not putting the effort in, were you?
And it's your own fault, you know, you got kidney stones, you don't drink enough water.
That's what I've been doing this week. Just drinking. You said what sort of week have you had? What have you been up to? That's what I've done. I've drank water. That's all I've been doing. If there's a water shortage in London, it's because of that. Honestly, that's what you have to do. It's just boring. Just like a basking shark. Just sort of with its mouth open, just going through the water. Sick of it.
Oh, he's led the life of plankton. Have you been able to do anything, or have you just been resting?
It's best to rest. Just because, you know, your body's still in shock, even though in the head, physically, I thought it was all right. The body sort of just acts in weird ways.
Brilliant.
You know, it's a weird thing, isn't it? Like I said last week, you don't think about your body until there's something up with it. And then you panic a bit. And you go, right, I'm going to look after it from now on. I've been given a second chance here.
As I said before, this was not a life-threatening illness or operation.
No, but it's that same thing. The last time I had it was when I nearly choked to death on the Mr. Freeze pop.
Right.
Where I had that sort of, what do they call it when you have like a second coming? Do you know what I mean? It's that sort of thing where
I don't think you're the second coming.
No, but that thing goes...
If you are, we're all screwed.
You mean the second chance?
Yeah, it's a second chance thing.
Your life flashes before you, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you get... you suddenly feel kinder. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, you sort of go, right, you know, that was a bit of a warning. Be
like
good,
Scrooge?
Good to people and stuff. Yeah, a little bit. I think it's normal.
So are you now a nicer person? You're giving more generously to charity and the like?
Well, they haven't been out, so I can't do anything. I can't help anyone.
You go online and...
But maybe, you know, once...
Donate some money, all this cash you're in.
No, I've given enough money away. Sick of it. But,
It's changed.
So he hasn't changed at all then, no?
But you've also got to be careful as well, because there's that thing of you can drown yourself by having too much water.
Yeah.
So it's just getting that balance right of not having too much and filling yourself up.
Well, yeah, it's that balance, right, of not dehydrating and, you know, becoming like a desert jellyfish, like a little crisp, and drowning yourself.
Yeah.
You're right, it is a balance. That's exactly what you've got to do.
I don't know how you've managed it, Carl. It's very complicated.
Yeah.
No, but
What I do is when I'm thirsty, I drink, and when I'm not thirsty, I don't.
yeah, but that's the problem with me. Whatever it is that's in your head that says you should have a drink, I don't really have one.
It's called a brain.
It's called a brain.
It's the brain that tells you.
But the brain's never thirsty. I only think of drinking when I'm eating. And I'm not eating as much because my kidney's weird. I don't want to put any pressure on it, so I don't drink. So now, if I have it in front of me all the time, I go, right, I've got to have that. So yeah, so I feel a bit better.
Good.
Just, it's just been a long week. Because when you don't do much, it's just, time doesn't whiz by.
And normally your weeks are packed, as we know, with visits to the cobblers.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like they say, innit? They say,
Following an ant.
Exactly, yeah, you've all got a hectic schedule.
I know, I don't know how you fit it all in.
but, because I was close to death and everything,
You weren't close to death.
I've been thinking about, other people who've been in that situation where they're dying and what have you. And it's weird how, like, in a way, do you know, like they say before you die, things to do?
Yeah.
I've never heard that sentence before. I don't know if they say.
Well, I've extrapolated from that. What you mean is there are certain things you should do before you die. Swim with dolphins, etc.
Yeah, but in a way, because I've had such a boring week, it's been a long week, so if I was dying, don't go swim with dolphins because you'll love it and the time will whiz by and you go, oh, there's another day gone. Whereas I've been sat at home watching, Price is Right and stuff, and it's just like, oh, it's only 4 o'clock. Oh, this is dragging. So if I was dying, I'd go, yeah, it's dragging, but I've got ages more left to live.
Yeah.
But what's the point?
But it's only about quality of existence, isn't it, when you're dying?
No, but anyway, I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
Been a boring week. But what I've been doing is going on the internet, sort of learning stuff, watching more documentaries about stuff.
Yeah. Okay, tell me something you watched on the internet then.
The thing that stands out the most, there's this spider
Right.
that a fella got, popped it in like a little sort of bottle,
Yeah.
and chucked in 80 ants. And the spider, right, just went mental. And I don't know if the spiders eat ants. I don't know if they do, but he wasn't happy with them, that they were there. And he was just whizzing around, sort of biting them. Not eating them, just giving them a bite. And the ants would sort of just lie there, dead. And spider had this system of sort of going, right, I'm going to put the dead ones over there. And it was biting them, dragging them across, putting them in a pile, killing another one, popping it in the pile, and by the end of it, it made like a little pile of dead ants. He was just there, sort of breathing heavily, and that was amazing because I've never witnessed that before. But you don't see that happening, do you, normally?
So you think that if people are unfortunately passing away, instead of visiting Disneyland or whatever, they should
Just learn stuff. Just
Sure,
make
get on the internet and watch
this
spiders.
world is amazing.
attacking ants?
And just that thing of, last week you were saying how good ants were and how they're brainy and they work hard and everything. Yet none of them they didn't know what they were doing. There was panic going on. You watch them again, running backwards and forwards, and I remember seeing a programme about ants where they're meant to sort of work together as a team, and if they climb up a person's leg, that person stood on their house, say, and they're all like, oh.
There's a signal and they all bite at the same
They all bite at
time.
once. Now, if that had done that on that spider, they sort of all go on it, and when they're all in position, one of them sort of goes, no, and it bites, and then it would do some damage, but there was none of that.
But you've seen things like the Towering Inferno, where even humans panic crazily and jump out of windows and things until Steve McQueen comes along and saves the day. So,
yeah, but at the end of the day, when you're in a Towering Inferno, you were there relaxing on holiday. So, of course, you're going to be relaxed, and the shock of it's going to make you go, oh, I wasn't ready for that, I was sat here in my trunks. Whereas that ants should always be alert.
Well, yeah.
Any insect's life should always be...
What, so for a human scooping up 80 of them, putting them in a bottle with a giant spider?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, that's what insects do. Their life, they never relax. That's what's weird with an insect. There's no downtime, is there? It's you wake up, you go and get the food, you build your house. That's what you do, so you're always alert. They shouldn't be sort of running around going, well, what do we do now? That should be in them.
I love that you're annoyed at these poor ants that were bitten to death.
But also, they say they're clever. I was looking at it. If I was an ant, I would have just crawled under the pile of dead ones. Just sit under there, wait for the spider to go. None of them were doing that. They were all staying on one side and the dead ones on the other. So I'm just saying that, you know, you're always sticking up for insects, saying you know what they're doing. They don't.
Where's this come from? When have I ever stuck up for insects? It's you just follow them, saying they're brilliant and that, and ladybirds are right-handed and Christ knows what.
No, but, you know, so I'd learnt that.
Brilliant. You haven't learned anything.
There's nothing to learn from that.
There's nothing you learned from that.
Something about jellyfish, and what else was there? There was this fella, there was a programme on the telly about survival, and a fella who he looks after elephants, and he's in this little hang glider looking for an elephant that he's looking after. He has to keep a track on where it's going and all that. And one day he's saying, "Oh, I haven't seen the elephant today," and the fella's like, look for it tomorrow. He's like, "No, it's best if I go and look for it now, because it might go further away or something." He said, "Oh, I should leave it, you know, till tomorrow." So straight away you're going, "Oh, this is trouble." So he's going out in his glider, sort of at night. He's looking for.
I doubt it's a glider.
It's a glider with an engine. It's one of
light aircraft then.
Yeah. So he gets in that on his own. He's wandering about in the air, looking down. Like I say, it's loads of land. He's looking for one elephant. He's not having much luck. Anyway, I think he gets to a point when he goes, "Oh, I'm having no luck, I might as well go home." Goes to turn round. Something happens. The glider falls to the floor, crashes. Yeah, that crashes. He gets out. He's broke his legs. Done his back in. Hurt his hands. I mean, he's in a bad way. And he looks at the plane, and that's a wreck. Petrol's coming out of it. He's thinking that's not going to fly again. And he has to lie there, doesn't he, for like 48 hours or something. And in that time, everything's being chucked at him. He has a lion wandering around him. A scorpion walked over his leg. Some sort of dangerous snake went in his shoe. Yeah. What else is there out there? Some sort of bad ants. Just everything that's there that could cause a problem. He had it all in his life.
I haven't seen this, but I suspect there's a lot of conjecture. And it's telling a bit bad ants.
No, just anything that you could think of that's out there to cause you a bit of a problem.
Camels.
He got hot. He got so hot his lips fell off. No, because you have to have a lot of juice to keep your lips sort of how they are.
Right.
So that's the sort of state he was in.
Yeah.
48 hours. And yet he survived in the end. Someone came and found him.
And you thought you were bored doing nothing?
Yeah, no. Well,
he didn't even have the internet.
Yeah, but he had a lot of insects.
What would you do then if you landed, right? Supposing we all land, right? We're shipwrecked, okay? There's no food around. But there's a chance we might be saved, like in a few days. We just got to stay alive just for a few days, okay? Steve offers up his penis.
For what purpose?
Well, it's already you've torn it in the plane crash. Anyways, it's hanging off. You go, okay, listen, lads, let's eat this. Let's go 3 ways.
I should be so lucky. Okay, fine, yeah.
I'll look for something else. Because we're surrounded by water. Why are we eating nog? There's loads of fish and everything. There's more fish in the sea than there is stuff on land. That's something else that I've read about how there's more sea life happening. There's loads more.
What do you mean? Than what?
Than stuff happening on land.
Well, yeah, it's a bigger place, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's more. They're all coming further in because it's getting so crowded. Everything's being pushed outwards. So we're going to get to a point where people won't go walking in the sea because there'll be something deadly just floating about on near the shore.
Again, that's no information at all.
I don't know.
There's no information in that statement at all.
Yeah, I said how the sea is so overcrowded that everything's being pushed to the edge.
It's not overcrowded.
It is.
You mean things that are in the sea are being pushed to the edge of the sea?
Yeah, because there's new stuff happening all the time. There's new creatures being made, they're changing quickly. They were saying how, 50 years ago, jellyfish didn't even have a sting.
That's rubbish. Try 50 million and you'll get closer to the truth.
But what I mean is, in terms of like land, we all look the same, don't we? We've had 2 legs and 2 arms for ages. Whereas in the sea, things are changing at a really fast rate. So like jellyfish we're knocking about.
The sea is a much more stable environment than the land anyway.
What are you on about?
Well, I wouldn't have thought evolution is any faster in the sea than land.
Yeah, it is.
Well, no, what's the evidence for this?
Well, I'm telling you now. Telling you how jellyfish have changed. And look at them.
And how have they changed then? So 50 years ago they didn't have a sting. Yeah. Now they have.
Yeah. Trilbies, they wore trilbies 50 years ago as well.
And they just spoke with a much more, refined accent.
Just that is quite a lot though, isn't it? Because jellyfish are nothing.
But no, you've made that up. That's not a fact. There's no facts come out of this. That's not that's interesting. You haven't said anything. Jellyfish haven't changed in 50 years.
No, they have. They've changed a lot in terms of...
Well, they haven't changed in hundreds of millions of years, so I don't know what the 60s had to do with anything. I just don't know what influence the Beatles and Mary Kwan suddenly had on jellyfish, where they haven't changed for hundreds of millions of years.
With all this sort of loose, free sex, free love, they were just going berserk.
I know, yeah.
There were no inhibitions amongst the jellyfish anymore.
Things are changing a lot. To think that jellyfish, when they first came out, they were nothing. Jellyfish are nothing, aren't they? They're just a blob. So
when they first came out, when they were first released,
new by Ron Pell.
But what I'm saying is, even though they were nothing, they've grown to have a bit of something, just to get by in a busy place.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's all guesswork and conjecture.
It's not guesswork. I've been
all nonsense.
I've been reading all this and watching stuff.
Karl, you haven't learned anything.
Well, that's not entirely true, because he's obviously learned enough to have written a poem about some of these subjects.
Oh, I love his poems. Are you getting into poetry now, properly?
I really like it, yeah.
Is Karl going to read this for me, Steve?
If you want him to.
I think so.
I did one about my kidneys.
What was it called?
Didn't have a name, it doesn't need it.
Ode to a Nephron.
Right, I did 2 about jellyfish.
Excellent.
I don't like jellyfish. They're not a fish, they're just a blob. They don't have eyes, fins or scales like a cod. They float about blind, stinging people in the seas, and no one eats jellyfish with chips and mushy peas. Get rid of them. And then there's just a short one about jellyfish. It would be spiteful to put jellyfish in a trifle.
It certainly would.
That's great. That's really good. Because it's jelly. He's done us this.
Yeah.
That's a really good poem. It would be spiteful to put jellyfish in a trifle. Yeah. A little half rhyme.
Yeah.
Do you want the one about my kidneys?
Yeah.
For God's sake, me belly ache. The doctor said it's me kidney. He said he's got to stick a tube up my knob. I said, you got to be kidding me. For God's sake, knob ache.
Oh God! I'm sort of mildly disappointed that they're quite good.
Yeah.
No poet's ever written about jellyfish and kidneys. It's great. Oh God, I think you might have the market sewn up there. It would be spiteful to put a jellyfish in a trifle. I mean, I'm both impressed and fascinated and worried by Karl's new literary outlook.
Yeah.
You know, we've said to him, we've tried to make him appreciate the arts and poetry and explaining like what metaphor does and symbolism and all that. But I'm worried it'll backfire, because what if he becomes clever and erudite and then we lose our little endless well of stupidity? What if we lose our little shaved monkey? I mean, these podcasts without,
it's almost like you were evolving into a human.
I mean, you've authored a book.
Well, I have to say, without at the risk of sounding like we're shamelessly promoting it, I've only just looked at the book today, because that's the first time I've seen it, The World of Karl Pilkington, and I was very impressed by how legitimate it feels. It does feel like an actual book.
He's put so much work into it. I mean,
he's done drawings, he's done extra thoughts and ideas, And it's very odd to think that has probably gone now into the British Library, which I think is obligated to take a copy of every book published.
Incredible.
I mean, let's be honest, it's not going to be on anyone's bookshelf. It'll be on their lavatory cistern, possibly next to their bed. But nevertheless, it's hardback and it's got pages. It's a real book.
Yeah.
Will you now read some great works? Will you read poetry at all?
Probably not. I don't like reading made-up stories because life's interesting enough, isn't it?
Right.
If I'm going to read someone else's lies, I might as well make some of my own up and save me money. Is what I mean.
But you do read lies and made-up things. You just take them as the truth. Most of the spurious facts and apocryphal tales and ridiculous stories that you read on the internet are, fiction.
Yeah, but as long as it gets you thinking, then it really doesn't matter. Say I was telling you about the sea being full up, right? How there's too many fish in it and they're all being pushed out. Then, it was saying about how the jellyfish is changing from a bit back, just being a blob, to now being a blob with stingy bits. You go, and then...
No, I don't. I wonder what he read.
And
what he was reading.
Then I'll think of what other things are in the sea, how are they changing? And then that's when I might do a poem about an octopus with two heads. Because it's got me thinking. So no longer am I just reading someone else's story, spending a full week reading some other story. I've read a little paragraph, and that's got me thinking about
it. It's inspired you to make great art.
With an octopus with two heads. And you just think, yeah, that would work. That's a good way for them to evolve. They've got all the arms, give them two heads.
They've got all the arms.
And, it would work, because like I've said to you before, it is one big head. Make it two smaller heads. So it's just looking at science, looking at how things can move.
It's not looking at science.
It's not looking at science. You then speculating on an octopus having two heads is of no value, is it, to anyone or anything?
But there's people out there who are bringing out books who are writing stuff like that for sci-fi stuff. And I think, why am I reading that?
That's entertainment. Everyone knows it's not true. They're doing it to...
But they do more than just say, wouldn't it be great if there was an octopus with two heads? They then paint a world in which this octopus exists and presumably causes some kind of narrative interest.
I can do that on my own, though. Without...
So what's the story of the octopus with two heads?
It's happier in the end. Everyone likes happy ending. He's got company.
But that's not a story, Carl. What? Tell us the story.
What, you made up a story about an octopus with two heads?
No, I'm just saying... I've thought about how the sea's changing. Right, what else is in the sea? Octopus. Right, what's an octopus like? Well, it's just a big head with a load of arms. Right, how would I change that?
I love this thought process.
But it's not a story. This is not a story. It's not anything. It's just some thoughts you've had. It's not...
A story is there to make you think and have thoughts.
But what is it that you've thought? You've not... I don't see what you've thought here.
I've just thought, yeah, that'd be all right.
I know, but...
Well, like King Kong, then. That's only someone who's gone, monkeys are getting better at stuff.
Yes, but it has a story, doesn't it? They go in search...
No, it isn't. It isn't saying monkeys are getting better at stuff. That's not what it's saying. There's lots of themes, but that's not one of them.
Monkeys are getting better at stuff.
No, they're getting better at stuff. The way they try to he tried to go out with a woman. That's them moving on, isn't it? It's the monkey going, do you know what? Quite fancy her. And from the beginning, that is a story that you go, that relationship ain't going to work. Do you know what I mean? I've not gone out with women who I've quite fancied, but then they smoke, and you go, that's enough to put me off. Yeah. So, when a monkey's that big, the thought wouldn't even pass my mind.
To go on a date.
This could work out. Sometimes it's just, relationships aren't made for each other. Now, that for a story, you wouldn't think it'd go past page 1. Yet you're having a go at me because an octopus has got two heads. Which isn't that weird. When you look at them anyway, they must be the weirdest thing knocking about on the planet. I'm not kidding you. I've never seen anything so weird. And yet...
He's angry because he's not seen anything so weird as not.
But it's not yet a story.
What's weird about it? What's strange about an octopus with all the things that could
Why is it any weirder than a dog?
Because it couldn't be further away from us. A dog has got human eyes. If a jellyfish had a pair of eyes like ours, I probably wouldn't worry about them that much. But like I said to you, it's that way that they haven't got eyes, they're floating about. I can handle some fish, they look like if they've got eyes, you can make eye-to-eye contact with them. A jellyfish, what are you looking at? It's a snidey thing, like I've said to you. You can see a lot in eyes, do you know what I mean? They say, don't trust him, why? It's his eyes. Jellyfish haven't even got any and I don't trust them. Whereas if it had them, maybe there'd be the odd one that I'd go, oh, that one's alright.
Okay, Carl, I'm just going to throw an arm at you. Tell me how weird it is, what bits annoy you, how you change it, okay? A crab.
How would I change it?
Yeah. Does it annoy you? Do you think it's weird?
They are weird, but they're at that size where they can get away with it.
Yeah, it suits them. Okay, good.
Would I change anything? In a way, you know, what you're saying about things not working, you can't walk forwards. So why hasn't something happened? Why haven't they said, do you know what, these arms are too clumsy. We need to have them so they can slot away easier and we can pull them out when we need them, instead of clumping around with them. Because they do struggle. You see them struggling with their arms. Yet they're still here, they're still doing that, they're still designed that way.
What's the weirdest animal? So you think the octopus is the weirdest animal on Earth?
Yeah. In terms of design and everything, and if you lined everything up, say if I'd come from another planet, and everything was lined up in a row, and they said, right, we're going to give you a crash course in what's knocking about on this planet.
Yeah.
And you go, right, go on then. And you go, this is man, here's a woman, here's a dog, here's a cat. Here's an octopus, here's a... I go, hang on a minute, what is this?
That jingle, of course, signifies another reading from Karl Pilkington's diary. There was an animal in the paper today that I've never before seen. It's called an alpaca. They are gormless looking. The fellow who breeds them said they are easy to look after because they're used to harsh conditions because they normally live in the mountains. The problem with this is they will turn useless eventually, and then if we try to bung it back on the Andes, they won't like it. It's like how people win these live like a star for a week competitions. They're not good for anyone. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? If something's living somewhere...
But he's not going to send them back to the Andes, he's presumably breeding them for something else.
Yeah, but say if eventually, you know, the world's getting busy, there's hardly any room, and we go, right, what can we shift here? What's getting in our way that we can shift? Well, those funny-looking things came from the Andes, bung them back. All right, then let's put them back. And they go, oh, they don't like it. They're not surviving, they're dying out. Why did we bring them here? Oh, it was closer. Yeah, but look, we've died out now.
Sorry, this is not yourself. This isn't happening. Don't get angry about it like it just happened and you're sick of it. No, this has happened yet.
I'm just looking at how it will happen. Leave them where they were.
But you're getting angry about things that you're speculating on now. It's absurd, Carl. Not once have I read here about your anger about terrorism or international, you know, political injustice. Not once have you written about that. Only about the fact we may send animals back to the Andes.
I know, but just because it just annoyed me, that's all. They brought them here. Some fella's getting a load of praise because they brought this weird animal into the country. And yet, it's like, well, they were on the Andes for a reason. Leave them there. It was happier there. I mean, I feel guilty when I open a bag and a fly flies out of it and I think, where's that come from?
What bag are you opening with flies? What bag?
No, just when, like, you know, the bag I took the computer home in, a fly flew out of it and I thought, when did that get in that bag? Wherever brought that from? And it's the same thing, it doesn't want to be somewhere else, it was where it was. And that's the same with this Polaco, whatever.
Great news! Get $25 cash back for the purchase you just made. Sign up now.
It's amazing! It really is the roundings of a madman, isn't it?
Some new sea thing has been found.
That's the headlines on the news.
It wasn't found by sea experts, it was found on eBay. Someone was selling it for $5. I don't see the point in buying something that you don't know what it is.
What do you mean? What do you mean? It was...
Someone's found some sort of shell with a thing living in it.
Right.
They thought, oh, I've never seen one of these before, I can flog it on eBay. Someone bought it and then wanted to look after it, went to some sea expert and they said, oh, I don't know what that is. That's the story. It's just weird
now you can get up
stuff's
to
being found on
$25
eBay.
cash
No, it wasn't
back
found
at
on eBay, though, was it?
buy.com.
Yeah, but that's where the specialist people sort of picked up on it. It's just weird that... I mean, all I was saying is I wouldn't want one. If you don't know how to... If it's a new creature, you don't know what makes it happy. When you get a kitten, you go, stroke its head, loves it, right? And you can do that knowing that it's liking it. If I had a little seashell and you go, does it sit in water? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? You could end up doing more damage. So that's why I wouldn't want it. It's nice to have rules in it. It's nice to know what you're doing with something.
Well, as you write in the diary, it's like if an alien landed and wanted to live with you. As much fun as it might sound, it wouldn't be long before you got annoyed with it because it wouldn't eat the food you gave it.
That's what I'm saying, but I couldn't have a go at it because it might not like pasta.
It might not.
Everyone likes pasta.
Wow. That's it for another week. I hope you've enjoyed this half hour of drivel. I mean, some of the most stupid things ever said. I mean, it's like he's got a contempt now for the world. Like, he doesn't care what comes out of his head.
Learning can be frustrating, can't it? You know, you maybe I'm getting you thinking, maybe on your way home today you'll be going, octopus with two heads. And if you do that for 5 seconds, I've done my job.
Good to have a job in it. So, from me, Ricky Gervais, goodbye. From Steve Merchant, goodbye. And from Karl Pilkington.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Hi, Ricky Gervais here, with me Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And Karl Pilkington.
Hi.
Welcome to the final episode in our series of 12 podcasts. I say final, it's final of 12, but we may be carrying on.
Go on.
Well, next week we're going to try and do another one to continue this for at least a little while. We may have to charge a small fee for it because it'll cost us money, and Karl is unemployed, but we mean a real tiny little fee. But hopefully we will be back next week. Now, we're not sure where it'll be. It'll probably be on iTunes, but just go to rickygervais.com and we'll guide you there. Hurrah!
Yay!
And thanks for listening for this long and supporting us. I hope you continue to support us. Go on, continue to support us.
Yeah, particularly Karl, who has no money whatsoever and is desperate. He's a desperate man. Is that right,
There's no
Karl?
one out there going, oh, look, they're charging for it now. But, you know, people forget we gave 12 for free.
This is it. So quickly people forget.
We're big shots.
Yeah.
Well, Carl's not. But, you know, we are, aren't we?
Exactly. I mean, we were generous, but we're not that generous.
We're not mad, and Carl needs a little bit of money. Look at his little round little head. He's like little tiny Tim over there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Look at him sitting there. Carl, you've had a good week?
It's been all right, yeah.
Brilliant.
Well,
More of that next week. But you'll have to pay for it now. I'm surprised you're not buzzing, because we just had our photograph taken to enter the Guinness Book of Records for the greatest downloaded podcast of all time. We went along to the Guardian and the press were there and they took a little picture of his round head, didn't they?
Yeah, but I don't know why should I be excited about it when it's just...
Haven't you always wanted to be in the Guinness World of Records?
Not really, no.
I've been looking at they presented us with this year's, and I've been looking through it, and there's some fascinating ones. I used to get this as a kid.
That's what I'm saying though. There's loads of things in there that I used to go to. I looked at it online the other day to see if, you know, what's on there. You click on it, the home page that you get when you click on Guinness Book of Records. It's a fellow with the most ear hair, right? It looks amazing. So that, to me, is what the Guinness Book of Records is about.
Sorry, you're impressed with the bloke who just happens to have the most ear hair?
No, but it's commitment. He could have shaved it off, but he didn't. He left it.
Yeah, no, it's less commitment.
But that just grew. We actually bothered to do a podcast.
All right, to get that then, the one with the rings on the neck where they stretch the neck so their head's tall. That's commitment. If that didn't work out, he's stuck with that head and he didn't even get in the book.
You're stuck with that head and you have got in the book, so be happy. What if it's a stitch-up? What if you're under round his head?
I'd be a bit annoyed.
Why?
just because I don't... I mean, have you got a choice? Say like the fella with, a small man. Say if he's not happy about being small, he's trying to go about his life, he knows people are looking at him, pointing at him, going, look at him, he's tiny. But does he want to be in the book?
Oh, I think they've got to give their consent.
Have they?
Because if the smallest wasn't willing to be in there, they'd go, the second smallest man is so-and-so, he was willing to be in here.
Yeah, but the smallest one is Frank, and he didn't want to do it, so again, he's in it without wanting to be in it.
No, but I don't know.
He's got you there, Rick.
I don't know if they do. I don't know if they go around. I think that you'd have...
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Happy New Year. Welcome to the world's #1 podcast. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant.
Hello there.
And Karl Pilkington. We have had an overwhelming response from emails. To be honest, we're very grateful and thank you so much, but we've had over 4,000, which is just too many to get through. So we're going to have to apologise for not getting back to you. We are going to try and read them all, but we just can't reply. We do this ourselves. We're three little fellas. We haven't got an entourage and millions of people working for us. It's just us in a little room. But thank you so much. One in particular, remember a couple of weeks ago we asked if there's any house DJs out there, maybe they could do a dance mega mix with the words, I could eat a knob at night. Karl just said that in conversation, talking about someone in a reality game show, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here, who ate a kangaroo penis. And he just came out with the phrase, I could eat a knob at night. Someone has... risen to the challenge. We had about 70 different songs. We're going to play our favourite at the end of the show and maybe put some of the others on the website, rickygervais.com, so you can go there and hear great dance tracks. They're all called I Could Eat a Knob at Night.
Oh, no one's switching off now. Everyone's guaranteed they're going to stay right to the end there so they can hear I want a bit of knob at night. What was it? I could eat a knob at night.
Yeah. It's funny, it was only a while ago you were talking about getting quoted, like Winston Churchill got quoted and Ben Franklin got quoted, and now you may go down in history. I could eat a knob at night. Karl Pilkington.
Karl, I could eat a knob at night, Pilkington.
Talking of all things nobular, I got a text from Karl yesterday, Steve.
A text from Karl,
yeah. I'll just read it to you. OK, see you to Moz for a face rub at 6:30 then. No bum tubes though. So I was intrigued, and I called Karl and said, I think you've just sent me a text by mistake. What's the explanation of that? See you tomorrow for a face rub. No bum tubes, though.
Just because my mate, right, Russell...
Why did he choose you?
He said, there's things that go on in life that you need to experience.
Yeah.
He said, just pop along. And I didn't say yes straight away.
What's a face rub? You mean a facial? Like a facial?
Just like a posh... face wash.
Like a facial, where you lay down...
You just clean your face with a flannel and that.
So you're going to have a facial scrub. You're going to go lie down with another man and have your face...
Well, no, this is what I was saying to him. There's a couple of questions. I didn't just say yes straight away. I questioned it. I said, well, I'm not that happy with this. I said, look, there's nothing weird going on here, is there? I said, it's not a house, is it? It's a proper clinic and that. He said, yeah, it's proper, you wear a dressing gown and that. I said, well, I'm not that.
So he's already got you in the dressing gown?
Yeah, well, I haven't agreed to that. Today I've worn a little round polar neck sort of jumper so I don't have to take it off. It's not going to get in the way of my face. I made sure I didn't wear a shirt with a collar. I'm not taking this off. They can put the dressing gown on top of this.
Right.
If you have to do it to look smart or whatever. I'm not taking my clothes off. I don't know if it's a woman who rubs my head. Don't know if it's a bloke or whatever.
Well, the thing is, you get extra, don't you, with your face rub, because your face goes all the way back over your top of your head down to the back of your neck. So you've got a big face, haven't you?
All I was saying to him is, I'll have the face rub, but I don't know if once you're in there,
right,
they try and sell you the old the bum tube thing.
What's the bum tube? Is that euphemism? What are you talking about?
The thing where they pop a tube in and put coffee in your belly and it cleans you out and that.
An enema?
Yeah, that's... yeah.
A colonic irrigation?
Yeah.
Well, would you have that?
I don't want it. I don't think...
Why not?
Just because I think I've said to you before about, you don't need to be that clean inside. Do you know what I mean? I don't mind washing my face. But what occasion do you need where you're that cleaned out? Do you know what I mean? And it's always a clear tube and that, and you see all the stuff whizzing past. I don't understand why it's clear. I don't know why you've got to see what's coming out of you. Like it's, like the generation game, making notes of what's whizzing past. Forget it.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Over the Christmas break, I was watching some different TV. Saw an amazing documentary. It's called Tribes. This guy, and he goes and lives with different tribes around the world. These small little indigenous people. And there was one. He went to Papua New Guinea in Indonesia. Right, Carl? He lived with the Kombai tribe. All right. Now, this Papua New Guinea is an extraordinary place because it is one of the only places left on Earth that hasn't been fully explored. There are parts of it that it's just blank on the map because they've never explored there. They don't know what's there. They don't know what's going on. So, firstly, that must already freak you out. Imagine that, 21st century, they have no idea what's going on down there.
But do they need to know if there's nothing going on?
Well, they don't know what's going on. There could be stuff going on.
No, but there's no chance that they'll go, we haven't been over there, and someone goes and there's like an Arndale centre. Nothing's going to be there, is it? So there's no...
Well, I'll tell you what is there, okay? There's these various small tribes, okay? This guy goes, he's amazing, right? Now, the thing about these is that up until the 60s, and even more recently, some of these tribes are still cannibals. They're still cannibalistic, okay? Eating people from other tribes.
This is going on now?
Going on now. It's generally stopped, but it still does occasionally occur, all right? So this guy goes to live with them, right? They walk around, you know, obviously naked, except for a little leaf just above their genitals. It's not covering the genitals, it's just above the genitals.
Do they know they could move on? Have they got a telly? Or have they seen a telly and gone, I'm not up for that? Or are they saying...
It's not the Amish.
They haven't chosen
But what is the difference between the Amish and these people?
Well, the Amish are a group of people that choose to live in that way. These people are just essentially untouched by civilization. I mean, they do have interaction with civilization and people do come there, but they still live in this very, very almost prehistoric way. They go around, they have homemade weapons, they kill pigs and hogs in the undergrowth. They live in kind of tree houses.
They did buy a telly, but there was nothing on because there isn't any broadcasters.
They couldn't plug it in.
Yeah.
They were an absolute nightmare. Yeah. But there was one guy, okay, now he said that his brother was dying. This was a couple of years ago, right? His brother was dying. He said to his dying brother, what happened? Why are you dying? This guy said it was a bloke in another village. Okay, he goes over to the other village, he kills this other bloke, right? He eats him, or eats bits of him. The other village gets a bit annoyed. They go, what's going on? Why did you kill this bloke? He went, sorry about that, right? They said, well, you need to make it up to us. He gave him a pig. They said, pig's not enough. They gave him 5 pigs.
Hang on, who are they giving these pigs to? The tribe?
To the tribe of the bloke who he killed and ate. So 5 pigs apparently made up for the fact that they killed all of them. They said, well, hang on, what are you going to do with this bloke's wife?
Why were they bartering? Why didn't they just get the police in and say, what's going on?
What police?
Yeah, why didn't they call Morse? I mean, why didn't they call in Kojak? Because he'd have sorted it out, wouldn't he? Or who else could they have called in? Columbo would have sorted it out.
I don't understand. What, are you saying there's 2 tribes?
There's a number of different tribes, aren't there? I've just explained that to you. There's a number of small individual tribes in this dense Papua New Guinea forest.
With a load of pigs?
With a load of pigs. But the wife of the guy that he killed, Nate, they said, well, we don't need her now, we don't want her. So she had to come and live with the murderer of her husband. So she's living there now, you know, happy as Larry.
But what I mean is, right, they're miles away from anything, but it doesn't sound like a great place to live, right? Could they not move? Could one of them go, do you know what, I'm sick of this. I'm moving or whatever and go to a proper city. How far away is this, these Papa people, to the next...
They're like the Smurfs. They're very like the Smurfs.
But how many miles away from a place with a normal life going on?
But think about this, Carl. Firstly, they don't speak the language, so they don't have any practical skills. They've got no experience of civilization. So even if they chose to go and live in one of these cities, what can they do? How can they function? They'll spend, 15 years just trying to figure out how everything works.
Mind you, I have had the same thought about Inuits.
Right.
If you live in a house made of ice and eat fish all day and then just stay in for 6 months, move. I really do. I mean, I don't understand why they're living there.
I think there's some bacteria that has better lives than that.
That's got to be offensive.
Why?
Okay, Albert, this is one of the weirdest things. This is one of the weirdest things, right?
An
entire race.
Just
of people.
dismiss.
No,
Just
no,
dismiss.
I'm not having a go, but I'm just saying I wouldn't fancy it, is what I mean.
But they
You know what I
don't
mean?
know
Really
of
nice.
another world. How can they imagine that they could... Oh, I'll tell you what, this is boring. I'm tired of hunting for food and eating fish from the river. I'll tell you what, I'd like a world where there's iPods and room service. I'm going to go and move to New York. They're not thinking like that, are they, Carl? Because they don't know about this other world.
Which is why, in a way, Carl can't offend them because they are not listening to this podcast.
Very unlikely. Very, very unlikely.
You're not going to get any nasty letters from Eskimos or Inuits, as they want to be called now.
Does an Eskimo ever...
Inuit.
Do they ever
Inuit.
meet, like, an English person on holiday? And an English person goes, it's choppy here, isn't it, or whatever?
Well, what do you think?
It's just that people go to, you know, Steve said before about places he's been to where people are still walking about with swords and that. People go to these places on holiday now. They like a little bit of danger. They like to see how the others live. So all I'm saying is we know they exist.
Yeah.
The Papa people, maybe people aren't going there. You know, it doesn't sound like the best place. You know, I can't imagine it having a tourist board or anything, right? But would they accept me if I popped over there and, you know, with Suzanne, sort out that little weekend break and that?
Where are we talking?
We're talking Papua New Guinea.
In Papa.
Well, okay, this is one of the things that they do, okay, which is a tradition you may have to do. These combine, right, they invert their penises. So they push their penises back up inside their bodies.
Like a sock.
What for?
Well,
Keep it out of the way.
Of what?
Well, if you're running through the undergrowth, chasing a hog, you don't want it flapping away, you know. But it's also become a kind of ceremonial thing. So if you were over there, you may well have to try it yourself.
You would have to try it yourself. If you went there, you'd have to try it yourself.
But even cavemen had little pants on. Why haven't they?
Whoa!
Slow down.
Rewind.
What do you mean?
Again, you've been watching the Flintstones.
No, it's just, you know...
Is it a leopard skin pair of pants that's actually quite a... Go on.
But it's a well-known fact that they wore, like, bear pants or whatever.
Bear pants? What do you mean bear pants? No, listen, you are a qualified anthropologist, so what...
I mean, you know, whenever you see them on footage or in a museum...
Footage?
Yeah. Whenever you see that...
Well, it's got shaking in it. It's black and white as well, isn't it? Caveman footage.
You always see them wearing a little bit of fur little pants and that. So what I'm saying is, even though... What year is it to these people in the woods?
I don't know what this conversation is anymore. He's just clutching at straws. His mind, it's like a fly, his mind, isn't it? It's just buzzing round, it's trying to find a window, and that's your mind. It is just
it's
like...
hitting against pieces of information, but then just bouncing off. Days to perplex.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
You can't believe your luck, Rick. Paul, the party animal Parker's been in touch. I imagine the kind of New Year party he was having last night.
I don't want to think about it, because it gives me a hangover just thinking about what that dude got up to.
That dude got up to.
Come on, then.
Man alive. But anyway, you know, he never stops. He never stops supplying us with little tidbits.
What's PP done for us now?
He just likes finding little odds and ends and just sending them in. And remember when we used to, years ago, we used to do that thing where we'd read headlines?
Yeah.
And sometimes the headline is all you need for a story.
Yeah.
And this is what's great about this one. If you give me a news at 10 style bomb.
And now the news at 10. Bong.
Boy waited while doctor rode unicycle. Yeah, well, amazing. A hospital has apologised after a 6-month-old boy waited 2 hours for treatment while a doctor rode up and down a ward on a unicycle. Paula Dadswell has taken her son James to a local general hospital with suspected gastroenteritis. I should point out now, James was fine, it was not a problem. But she spotted the doctor pedalling the unicycle, but was astonished when the same doctor later walked over to examine the child. Miss Dadswell said, "We took one look at the doctor and said, 'You must be joking.' His face went bright red." A spokeswoman for the hospital said, "Of course, we are sorry if distress was inadvertently caused to the mother, and we've offered her our apologies. But let's also remember that we should try and make hospital wards less intimidating places for patients, and we regularly provide diversions that are not directly related to medical care. Many parents have commented favourably on this approach and indeed about the unicycle."
What I love about that story is that it's the most important job in the world and the most useless. Being a doctor is saving lives. It's incredible. It's so noble. Riding a unicycle is the most useless thing you can do. That to me is plate spinning, juggling,
Flame eating.
Who goes into plate spinning?
Is it like the father going, son, when you've finished university, you can take over the business? But I want to be a doctor, Dad. Look, the plate's nearly... And you're hooked. And you give it a little push, and you're there, and you're hooked.
It's a dying art. You don't see it as often as perhaps you once did.
Dad, I want to be a doctor. But the plate's nearly dropped, son. And unbelievable.
But what I can't make out from that story is whether the doctor was he'd done 7 years medical training, and then they said you're working at this specific hospital. Yeah. They whipped out the unicycle. They said you need to learn that as well before we can put you on the wards. Or whether he was practicing. Who knows if he was practicing?
Do you know what I think happened? I think the bloke in charge of the hospital, there was 2 people up for the job. This fella, who was brilliant, he got first from Oxford, he's amazing, and the bloke in charge, his nephew.
yeah.
And they both scored the same.
He's in an open university course.
Yeah. And they went, you're both very good, but who can ride a unicycle?
He whipped it out.
Yeah.
He went, have a go.
Yeah, and he's been practicing. Unbelievable.
But it's also the idea that if it is indeed something which the hospital has initiated in order to cheer people up, particularly kids, I mean, it just seems like a dangerous thing to be doing in a hospital, with all due respect. I think
so. You could pull out leads, wires.
Anything can happen.
I know, yeah. They get you to turn your mobile phone off when you go into some ward. So, please leave your unicycle here, surely. No unicycles beyond this point.
If you have a unicycle accident, of course, a great place to be.
It is a good
place to be. It's an ideal space to be already.
But who rides the unicycle anyway? Do you know what really annoys me? We live near a park. It's a lovely park. And on a Saturday for about 3 hours, there's some twat hippie with braids, dreadlocks, sitting there playing one drum. How can you play one drum? He thinks this is brilliant. This is therapy. It's shut the fuck up.
It's nothing. That's not music. It's not percussion. It's not expressing anything. It's just annoying.
Yeah.
Tell you now, this would be my worst nightmare if you were to take me on an evening out. You say, Steve, we're going tonight, right? You can't get out of it. You've got to do it. It's 2 hours. Stomp.
Oh.
Stomp, where they put dustbin lids on their feet. Now, I mean, I've seen a little bit of it on the Oscars.
Yeah.
It's all right for 30 seconds. Well done. But what is that show? What is the Stomp show?
I don't know.
I mean, Jesus Christ. After about 15 minutes, you've had enough of that, surely. I'm assuming there's not really a story.
Are they bin men? No, I just wondered how you get into that, how you start practicing and go, do you know what? That sounds quite good.
Yeah, they are. They're bin men,
I was shopping with Karl before Christmas, and we went round sort of Piccadilly and St James's and those really beautiful shops around there. And I went in one shop. You had to ring a bell to enter.
Yeah.
They came down, and it's like a iconoclastic sort of shop, and they found things from churches and nearly all Russian 16th century pieces onwards. This beautiful carvings and paintings and statues and everything. And I was wowed by it. And this bloke clearly loved his work, and he was, enthusing to me about these stuff. This is from the 16th century. This is Russian. This is and I went, oh, it's beautiful. And as I was looking round, I heard Karl sidle up to the bloke and go, what's the newest thing you've got in?
Yeah, sure, that's his first thought.
I mean, that is the wrong question to ask of a man who's clearly in antiques.
Yeah.
Proud of the fact he's got 16th century iconoclastic Russian stuff, to ask, what's the newest thing you've got here? What sort of question is that? Oh, I don't know, probably the doorbell. I don't know, what does he want to say? Oh, my shirt. What were you thinking?
For? I just was making chat with him, because it's the sort of place that I don't think many people go in, right, Steve? When you go up to this shop, right, he's not sat in there. You have to ring a bell. He's getting on with his life upstairs. He lives upstairs, right? You ring the bell to say, what, come in your shop. He pops down, stands there watching you look around. So it's not a natural way to shop.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? It's not nice having a bloke stood there watching you look at all this old stuff and that. So I was kind of making friendly chat.
Yeah.
And I think it's an alright question, because he was saying there's loads of old stuff in there, and he kept going on about the old stuff. So what was to say? Well, what's the newest thing you've got?
And what was
do you know what he said to it? The other question he asked him? He said, how often do you get new stuff in? And the bloke went, every day. And I said to him, why did you ask that? He said, well, I was thinking, if you've got antiques and you sell it all, what's left? Like someone's going to sell all the antiques in the world because they're not making any new stuff. What does that mean? They're not making any new stuff.
But I know for a fact no one's ever going to go in there and buy the lot anyway. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I'm not at any point in my life, and I don't think it'll ever happen, will I go, I need some old Russian wood. Because
It was brilliant.
No,
Steve,
no.
it was beautiful. It's amazing stuff. There's stuff. There's these things from the 16th century of sort of like saints and monks, and they're carved and
There's
they're.
loads of it. It's just all piled up. No one's interested. If I was him, I'd go, do you know what? I'm into this, but no one else is. Close shop. Because seriously, it's just piled up. Piles upon piles of like old bits of wood with pictures on it and that.
But
There was
think
one
of a man.
fella-
Just think of a man 400 years ago that carved this.
No, but nobody wants it, do they? I've never heard anyone say, oh look, it's my birthday coming up. I'll tell you what I'd love.
What?
A bit of old Russian wood. It doesn't happen. That's what I'm saying. I've never heard anyone saying it like. I've never overheard someone saying, you don't know where the Russian shop is, do you? And this is in London where the rates are high. There was this thing, right, Steve? Again, making chat. Loads of bits of wood with like them old drawings on like.
It was like a panel from a church that someone had painted,
right, yeah.
and I think it was like from sort of like 1590 or something.
Yeah.
And it was this a picture of this saint, wasn't it?
1590. It could be from any time, really. So there's this one there, right, leaning up against the wall, and most of them in there was that Stalin bloke, right? But there was this little.
Right, can I just stop you there? Lenin.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Then.
Yeah.
So he was on all these bits of wood and stuff. But I saw this other little face, right? Little fella with a beard, right? So I said, who's this bloke here? He said, the story there, right? He said, it's this little fella who went a bit mad or something. He got mugged back in Russia. This is right, isn't it? This is what he's saying. He said he got mugged.
This is that term. I love that term in a 16th century Russian wood. Oh no, I'm being mugged.
So he got mugged.
You got happy slapped.
And he said, I've had enough of this, right?
Yeah.
And he went to live in the woods, right? Made like a little shed, stayed there. People went to visit him, and like if you got a problem, you knock on his door and you go, I'm sick of it. And he'll sort of say, yeah, I know what you mean. I've moved out of the city, what have you? And he'd make him feel better, and then they go again. Now, why has that man got a plaque? If he was around now, there's no way he'd have a bit of wood with his face on it, is what I'm saying. If someone had got fed up with living in London or New York or whatever, and they go, I'm going to go and live in the woods, people wouldn't visit him, and he wouldn't get a piece of wood with his face on, is what I'm saying. But this man is selling it for about, I think it was about 750 quid for this bloke's head.
Well, because it's 400 years old and beautifully painted.
But the chances are that this is either a well-known Russian folktale, or it may even be a piece of classic Russian
He's a
literature.
saint. He was a saint.
Okay,
He was
well, in which
canonised.
case,
Everybody was a saint years ago. That seems to be like thrown about, doesn't it? Who's a saint now in this year? Who's a saint? Naming one now. Yeah, this fella lived in the woods in a hut. Oh yeah, that's Saint John or whatever. He's not a saint. He's done nothing. If anything, he's sort of said, I can't be bothered with living in the city with everyone else. Everyone else has got to put up with it, but I can't put up with it. I'm going to live in the woods. Well, if you can't put up with it, you're not good enough, are you? You've got no stamina. And yet he gets a plaque, is what I'm saying. It's annoying.
Who would you like to see get a plaque in the modern world? Who deserves a plaque, in your opinion?
Probably like nurses and that, who do a lot of bad things that I think I couldn't do that. Carrying lungs about and all that. No, but I couldn't do you know what I mean? That's one job that... my mum wanted me to be a doctor.
Whoa! What was she thinking? Oh, what's her expectations like now?
Apple didn't fall far from the tree.
Oh, when did she start giving up that dream? At what age did she start going, Carl, you don't need to study your books anymore. Go and play with the worms in the garden. When did she sort of like let you off that dream?
Was it the day that she caught you with a spoon up your nose?
From the creators of The Office, Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant. Extras, the first series, now on DVD.
Who are you?
Nobody.
What's that? Who?
Nobody.
That's right. Nobody. And who am I?
So the Starsky Hutch, I can never remember.
You are guaranteed an Oscar if you play a mentor.
I've just written a sitcom, but I wonder if you could give it to anyone you know.
Is there any nudity in it?
Well, it could be.
Men or women?
Either. Well, just women.
I will make it so.
A painfully funny double disc. Extras on DVD now.
That was a good advert, wasn't it?
I'm just remembering some of the great jokes in that show.
What was that for? I always forget what adverts are for. So it was for...
That was for extras available now on DVD.
So if you've got vouchers for Christmas, you could go to a shop and buy...
Go to the shop, yeah.
Extras.
Absolutely. You could walk straight into any kind of shop, high street shop, and say, excuse me, have you got extras on DVD? I've got some vouchers, and exchange them for a copy of the DVD.
Right, and that's big in England and America, isn't it? It's on HBO in America, so it's a very successful...
Americans, I guess, the great place to buy that would be on say, one of the websites, Amazon or one of the internet shops.
.com or .co.uk or Play.
And search for it there.
.com. And I mean, if it's going the way of The Office, which is the most successful British sitcom ever, I mean, I'd invest now. I'd say I was round at the beginning. I bought extras on DVD the first year it came out.
Get a first edition of the DVD.
Get a first edition of the DVD.
That'll be highly collectible.
And isn't there great extras on there? You see Sam Jackson and Kate Winslet and Ben Stiller.
Rick, there's some wonderful behind-the-scenes footage, and there's some wonderful little documentaries about, the making of the show. I mean, to me, it just makes perfect sense. It's still a great way to see in the new year.
Right, but if you are going into Amazon, .co.uk, and you're buying extras, buy a copy of Flanimals. More Flanimals is available now.
Yeah, I don't get any money from that, so I'm not gonna talk about that.
No. Just buy Flanimals, more Flanimals.
Well, don't keep going on.
Okay, extras.
Yeah, exactly.
Coming up, the Mega Dance remix of I Could Eat a Knob at Night.
Plus, of course, Monkey News.
Yeah. And, if you've got any Monkey News, by the way, just email it in. What is it? podcast@rickygervais.com.
That's right.
But don't be asking any questions about monkeys and that, because there's too many people asking about what's going on in the monkey world and that. And I can't do it to everyone.
Well, you're gonna bring up any kind of big monkey information.
If they need to know that, I'll have it every week. But it's just that a lot of people, they've got a taste for it.
Talking of monkey news, if you want to learn more about Karl, we've just put up a big biography, and there's some pictures that you haven't seen before of Karl Pilkington, and you can go to rickygervais.com and check out the roundness of his head and some of his stupid ideas.
But anyway, talking of emails and that, right? Nick Decker, who's emailed from Australia, right? Melbourne. He's been going on about dolphins and that, problems with dolphins.
What problems?
He's just saying when that wind happened.
What?
There was like a bad wind thing going on. And
Not your Auntie Nora again.
There was a load of dolphins in like a bay.
Hold on, wait a minute. What bad wind?
In America, they had that
Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah.
Right.
And there was like a little bay with dolphins in it, and like, with all guns on them and stuff.
Whoa, rewind.
Do you know they use dolphins, don't they? They say they're an intelligent animal and stuff.
Yeah.
And they've got them all like, they've all had the training, they're all like ready for battle and stuff.
Right.
Got like rifles on them.
What do you mean rifles?
How can they hold
weapons. How can they hold a rifle?
No, it's sort of on a strap and that.
What do you mean it's on a strap?
I don't know what they kit them out with, but they're just ready for war.
What are you talking about?
Listen though, that isn't the point, don't worry about it.
Oh, we leave that one, do we? That's not the point, so let's leave it.
So they're swimming about.
Yeah, with rifles and berets.
Whatever they've got on.
Yeah.
Ready for battle and stuff.
Yeah, ready for battle, yeah.
The wind comes in.
The wind comes in.
Makes a wave and that. They get out of the little bay.
Yeah.
Still all kitted out with all the, weapons.
You're talking bollocks.
Steve, do you want to look at the
Well, there's no way. There's loads of dolphins now swimming round, kitted out with guns and that, with a strap. How can a dolphin hold a... Again, you've been watching Planet of the Apes.
They just say they say they're an intelligent animal and that.
Yeah.
People are trusting them, right?
Brilliant.
Oh, here's a dolphin.
Oh, he's trying to talk to us. What's he saying? He's saying, go ahead, punk, make my day. You're talking shit.
It's just news to say if there's dolphins, if you see a dolphin and that, don't go, oh, it's friendly, because there's some with weapons now. So I'm just reading it out on email. That'll cover it and that. So
bollocks.
And more animal stuff, right? Your girlfriend, Jane, right? When I was round there the other night, she was talking about they're getting closer to doing the mammoth.
Oh yeah, they're genetically engineering it. They're a few sort of million bits and pieces away, but they reckon they're going to be able to build a living mammoth in 2 years. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No. What sort of Jurassic Park type stuff?
Sort of, yeah. Yeah. What do you think of that,
Carl? Do we need them?
What do you mean?
Well, is it worth messing about? Because I always think, well, whoever's like knocking one of these together, right?
Yeah.
They must be pretty bright. Right?
Yeah.
So whilst they're messing about with an airy elephant, could they be doing more useful stuff that the world needs.
Well, it's sort of like, you know, it's fascinating. Even if on the face of it, it looks pointless, which it rarely is, scientific discovery. It's about conquering nature, isn't it? I mean, that's amazing, isn't it, that you could bring a mammoth back? What are the implications to bringing a mammoth back? You know, could they aid the workload? Could they feed the starving? You know, there's
what,
applications.
So you're saying,
well, I'm not
bring
saying
it back
anything.
to kill it, to eat it?
Well, I'm not saying anything. I'm saying that rarely is scientific discovery pointless and a waste of time. In the greater scheme of things, we learn from this, don't we? The fact that it can map DNA of a mammoth, what are the implications there? Could we bring back, I don't know, Churchill? Could we bring back Nelson? Would we want to? Is it moral? That's another question. But the feet alone, and I don't mean its feet, I don't mean we can bring back mammoth
I could
feet.
tell that was what he was thinking when his eyes moved.
Yeah, I meant the achievement alone is remarkable. Putting a man on the moon, pointless, but what a feat.
But don't you think...
Not impressed by putting a man on the moon?
No, we've chatted about the man on the moon, you know, some people like it, some don't. I'm not going to argue about it, do you know what I mean? If you were behind it and that, good on you. But I'm not that fussed. I don't think we've learned that much from it. He went all that way, popped a flag up, came back. What have we learned about that journey since? We haven't really been back.
We conquered space. We just conquered space. That's what we do. We see what we can do. Why climb a mountain? Because it's there. What's at the bottom of the ocean?
Yeah, but I don't agree with people who climb mountains for the sake of it. It's all right if you've got to get over it. But don't go up and then go down again.
No,
just go for a good walk.
Well, I don't mind as long as they don't strain the emergency services. If you're a posh bloke going up the mountain in a beard and you get stuck, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
And then there's, you know, people have to risk their lives going to rescue you because you wanted to laugh. I agree with that, actually.
But don't you think the world's busy enough? It's like you can't hardly move. You know what I mean? And mammoths are taking up quite a bit of room if a load of them come back. We've already got elephants, which in my eyes are good enough. They do, you know, they carry stuff about and that. What's going to be better, a mammoth or an elephant? Because I can see that one of them is going to have to go at some point. If like we start running out of elephants, would they say, well, it doesn't matter, we've got mammoths and stuff. So what's the point?
You don't need anyone else in the room for a conversation, do you?
No, but
He's arguing with himself.
He's arguing with his own head.
Amazing.
Where would you put the mammoth? If they get it going, right? Yeah. You pop it on give it the old electric shock and that, wake it up, and
Frankenstein's been watching.
And it's like,
all his information about science is about the Flintstones, Planet of the Apes, and Frankenstein.
In his head, they've got an elephant. They put some carpet tiles over it, and they're trying to bring that back to life as a mammoth.
Carl, can we have some monkey news before I die?
All right.
Oh, chimpanzee that! Monkey news, yeah.
This week, what I thought I'd do, right, because we're getting loads of emails from people who haven't really heard much of the monkey news that I've done in the past, right? And a lot of people are sending through one of the first ones that I did that was a good monkey news. I think it's worth hearing again, just in case you forgot about it, because it's sort of classic monkey news. I don't know if you want a different jingle.
Well, no, I mean, it's just, you know, if it's anything that you've ever said, it's not true anyway, so carry on.
Well, it was a true one, because this is the one that, like, this is like world known monkey news. A lot of people send this through. It's the most popular one, right? It's about this monkey that was knocking about called Ollie, right? It's called Oliver.
Yeah.
And it was in this zoo, and it was the only monkey in there, right? So
this is one they think was the missing link. It was half human, half ape. That programme on television, because it had bald. It looked like you, which doesn't mean it's half anything.
It might have been that one. What happened is it was in the zoo and stuff, and it was getting a bit lonely because, like, it was sharing its sort of time with, say, an elephant and a giraffe. And
no, it doesn't happen.
And they didn't really. No,
wait. They do not.
Let me just tell you.
They do not put chimpanzees in with. No, but it's not true. Why would he share his time with an elephant and a giraffe?
Gervais, it was some kind of flat share. They put an advert in the student union. Yeah, saying, we've got 2 rooms to let.
African mammal wanted, non-specific.
A mammoth and
what I'm saying is there was other elephants for elephants to knock about with, and that the monkey. It was the only one there. So what happened is the zookeeper felt a bit sorry for him.
Right.
He was like, oh, look, he's looking all fed up and that.
Yeah.
And like you said, I think he went a bit bald, he was bored and that. So he started to sort of get pally with him. So at lunchtime, when the zookeeper was sat on the wall having his, like, butties or whatever, he'd sort of go, all right? And it used to come over closer and closer, right? Yeah. Anyway, within a month, he was sat on the wall having his lunch with him, right? And
was what wall?
Just a little wall in the zoo.
So they let the monkey out. The monkey could come and go. He had his own door key.
Just near where the monkey is, it used to just pop.
Oh, these blinking latchkey monkeys.
I know. Yeah, he was 21. Yeah, go on.
Sit there having his butty and that with the monkey and stuff. Yeah. And anyway, as time went on, because the zookeeper back then, zoos weren't as popular as they are now. No. So it was only it was him on his own really. So he found like the monkey was the closest thing.
Absolute rubbish. The zoos did not run with one zookeeper.
This is a true thing. I mean, this is what I'm saying.
The height of popularity for zoo surely was in the Victorian era. So
exactly.
You're sort of, picking up on little things that aren't important. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
but anyway, so he sat there, and as time goes on, he's sort of sat with him most of the day. Monkeys walking around with him, helping feed the other animals and that.
No.
But then what happened is the zookeeper, at the end of the night, when he's like locking up and stuff, he'd feel bad because he'd believe in the zoo, and like Ollie sat there and he's like, I'll see you tomorrow, and the monkey's like, yeah, see you later. He's looking all fed up because he's got home to go to and he's still stuck in his way. He's basically working every day. Right? So he's never going home, right?
Now he's sleeping at work, the monkey.
So anyway, the zookeeper goes home and says to his wife, look, Ollie's having a bit of a time at the moment. She said, oh yeah, what's going on? He said, well, he's just looking a bit fed up, he's sick of it. So she said, bring him home. She said, well, I did what I asked, but I didn't want to force it, like 3...
This conversation didn't happen.
So anyway...
he's giving it in such detail.
Yeah, I know, it didn't happen. So this is in your head.
So she said, yeah, bring it home tonight. So anyway, he's looking forward to going to work and that. He sees Ollie. He doesn't tell him straight away.
This is a surprise for him later. Oh, God!
So they go through the day, usual stuff, feeding the elephants and all that. It gets to the point when it's night, they have the lunch and that. It gets to the end of the day.
Yeah.
And... sort of Ollie's there, he's looking at him like as if to say, well, there you go, another busy day and that.
Little does he know.
See you tomorrow and stuff. Anyway, he's like, get your coat. He's like, what?
Coat? What do you mean, get your coat?
Whatever the equivalent is, right? Whatever you say to a monkey, it was kind of like, you're coming with me sort of thing.
Yeah. Right.
So he's going, oh, brilliant. Anyway,
no, he's not! So what do you mean he's going brilliant?
He takes it home.
So he gets his hat and coat.
He gets his hat and coat.
And he...
Can't believe he's long, right? He goes back to the zookeeper's house. Everything's going well for about a week and a half.
Right. Has he got his own room?
He still goes to work and stuff.
To the zoo. Yeah.
To the zoo.
He doesn't work there.
And then he comes back to the zookeeper. But anyway, what ended up happening is, so anyway, he's back at the house, and it's going well for about a week and a half. Treating him really well. He's sat there, he's having a brandy at night before he goes to bed. The zookeeper noticed that when he took it back to work, it was kind of getting flashbacks of not having a good time in the zoo, right? So he was like, this isn't helping him out. He's happy when he's at home with the brandy and the fags and that. When he comes back here, he's starting to look a bit fed up. So he said to his wife, look, you're at home all day, right?
Oh, geez.
I'm going to work, I'll leave it with you, right? Yeah. So Ollie stays at home.
Yeah.
Anyway, as time goes on, a little bit of trouble. Whilst the fella's busy at work, grafting, paying the bills and that for Ollie at home, Ollie starts getting a little bit cheeky, tries it on with the missus.
Right, whoa. Right. How does a monkey try it on with the missus?
This is classic monkey news.
How does it try it on with the missus?
So he's a bit drunk, he stinks of smoke, he tries it on with the missus. How does he try it on with her?
I don't know all the detail.
You don't know any of the details.
I don't know the detail on that bit.
You don't know any of the details.
No, I don't know the details on that bit.
You don't know any of the details.
So what happened? So while the zookeeper's away, the monkey did play. What happened? Did the zookeeper's wife reciprocate these affections?
Just a little bit of little bit of fun, I suppose. She probably went along with it at first. She's cooking at home, getting the tea ready. That's walking past, pinching her arse or whatever. And do you know what I mean? It starts off just like it does, with humans. Starts off as a bit of fun. Before you know it, split up in the end. Anyway, the zookeeper wouldn't know what's it. I think the monkey stayed with the woman. So, it's all there.
Honestly, your imagination.
Well,
you should write stories. You should write.
Get people to look it up. Just put in monkey, chimp, Ollie, and it's all there.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Happy New Year, particularly to those great guys at Positive Internet for hosting this podcast.
Dynamite.
The world's #1 podcast, thanks to the guys at Positive Internet. So, check out rickygervais.com to check out Carl's head. You know, go and buy extras and flannels. Check it out at flannels.com.
Oh, come on, this is shameless. Extras to the baby.
Fridge freezer for sale, £400 or nearest offer.
Steve Merchant wishing you a happy new year. I'm sure Karl Pilkington wants to reciprocate that. Yeah.
And do you know what I want to wish them? I want to wish them a fantastic new year.
Right, you're talking shit. Explain yourself.
Hello, welcome to the third in this new series of the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Karl Pilkington.
All right.
We've had loads of emails. Thank you for those. Sorry we can't reply to them all personally, but keep them coming, some interesting ones. There's one in particular here from a guy who says, I see there is less swearing now you're charging for the podcast. Dumbing down already, ?
Yeah.
Well, interesting.
I don't know how that's dumbing down.
Well, no, not swearing. That's interesting. Not swearing is dumbing down. And also, the fact that he's complaining that we're not swearing enough. Yeah. What sort of a cunt would bother writing that email?
I don't know, mate. I don't know. But I know he's just some kind of fucking cocksucker.
What have you got, Annie?
Well, now, of course, a couple of weeks back you gave the rather long-winded but fascinating sort of brain teaser, conundrum, philosophical question about the heaven and hell doors.
I know.
And there's been a number of responses to
I know.
Explain your error.
Well, I got it. I realised as soon as we put it out there that I should have said, assume no prior knowledge. Otherwise, you can just say, hold up a cat and say, is this a dog? Or you can say, what's my name? But they don't know anything about you. That's the thing. They only know about themselves. And I should have said that.
Yeah. So are you willing to just now say that you've embarrassed yourself?
I've embarrassed myself. I should have said, it's got to be about, it's only about the, you can ask questions.
Well, do you know what? It's a bigger man than many that can admit that mistake.
Or a man that's banged to rights and obviously caught out and has no choice.
Well, it's quite interesting to wade through the emails and find out the kind of people that are listening, get a sense of the different listeners. And I know you, Rick, have met some of the big celebrity names that have listened to the show, and it's sort of because you've actually met them. But it's, now we've got celebrities who are just emailing in, just letting us know. This one is from a guy called Aaron. He says, my name's Aaron Douglas, and I play Chief Tyrol on TV's Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, right.
And he listens to the show in his trailer. Now, I don't watch Battlestar Galactica. I hear it's very good.
Yeah,
but it's nice to know that...
I don't watch it. I don't watch any of those things, but that's...
it's nice that Chief Tyrol, and for those of you that watch Battlestar Galactica, I'm sure that means something. But it's nice that he got in touch. But I'm just thinking, who would you, in an ideal world, Rick, who would be your ideal listener, a celebrity listener?
Well, it's not so much celebrities for me. I like the idea that captains of industry or scientists or people actually doing something worthwhile are listening. That's what excites me, because they hear... we've had a couple of emails from people who are doing, PhDs and psychologists and that excites me more. That these academics are listening. I mean, who's the weirdest person you think that who should have more time on their hands? Stephen Hawking. Imagine Stephen Hawking listening to this show. He's putting together the formulation for the universe, but he's going to listen to a little bit of monkey news from Karl Pilkington.
Imagine Stephen Hawking emailing us at podcast@rickygervais.com. I mean, that would just blow our minds, wouldn't it? That he's got time to do that. That he's got the inclination to bother doing that.
He's always online, though. He's always hooked up.
Is he?
Well, he's got a little computer on. Why not? Sure, that's one of the perks. You can just bung an email out whenever. I'm not having a go. I just mean that's what I'm thinking. He's sat there with his little computer. Out of all the people in the world to have a chat with, I'd probably like to have a chat with him about space and that, because I can't get my head around it.
Carl, you can't get your head around frozen foods. What a chance you can have with the universe.
No, but just putting stuff out there, it freaks me out when I'm lying there in bed at night and I think about how this world. On Friday, right, I was in bed, Suzanne, and I said, could the world fall? Right?
It's like something from Chicken Licken.
Wow, that's a hell of a bit of pillow talk, that.
Isn't foreplay hell? Oh, God.
But I'd like to sort of have a chat with him, because I reckon he could put it in a way that I could understand it.
Oh, I wish an Inuit was listening.
Did I not tell you this? We had an email from an Inuit.
Really?
Yeah. I thought I'd mentioned this. Have we not mentioned this before?
No.
No, it was an email from a guy who said, I don't think he lives in Canada, I think, or somewhere else. Apologies if I'm getting that wrong. But I think he said he was half Inuit, and he listens to the show.
Half Inuit? See, that's interesting, because I think I'm just so remote. I know I'm probably wrong now, but I think those are so remote that I can't think where they're meeting people who aren't Inuit. Yeah. Oh, and who's going, other societies are going, I'll tell you what, I'm fed up, there's no action here, I'm going to the frozen tundra, I'm about to meet someone there.
Yeah.
Where do they meet? Do they do online dating?
Probably a lot of online stuff.
What do you put as hobbies? Fishing?
Yeah. Skinning stuff.
Skinning stuff, yeah.
What stuff to skin? Seals.
Seals, yeah, sure. That's about it, isn't it?
Why are they hanging about around there? Why are seals going, do you know what, it's cold, I'm sick of it here. It's windy all the time, what have you, and I'm getting a club on the head. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're meant to be quite bright in terms of animals and that, aren't they? Yeah. So why are they knocking about them parts?
I don't know.
Say, like, if seals died out, right? Would that be a problem?
We've done this.
We've been through this before.
Everything has a knock-on effect.
Even a seal, that's sort of in between something already. It's between a fish and a dog, isn't it?
I knew you were going to say dog. It's not between a fish and a dog. What do you think evolution does? Fish to dog. What do you mean it's between a fish and a dog?
I'm just saying
it was a perfectly evolved mammal that re-entered the water, I imagine, and then got streamlined and... it's between a fish and a dog.
But why not have one and the other? Why not have, you've got a dog, you've got a fish.
No, it's not between a fish and a dog. It's not between a fish and a dog. I don't know what between means. Well, I don't know what...
This is it again about saving everything all the time. What is it doing? What's he doing? Everyone's feeling sorry for him all the time. Save the seal and all that. What's he doing? Why are we saving it? Let's just ask that question. What's he doing?
I don't know what to say. It's between a fish and a dog.
That bloke, the Eskimo who emailed in, would he be in a igloo thing?
Probably not, no.
Well, no, not. I don't think many igloos have got internet capabilities. I don't know. I don't want to flag them off.
But why aren't we saving them? Why aren't we?
When you build it, leave a little hole. Yeah, that's where
But there's kind of igloo internet cafes.
They go there. They all go to one igloo. Yeah.
But why are they being left alone to live like that when it isn't great?
What?
Well, we're always eager to help everyone in the world, aren't we? We're always like going, oh, look, them people are fed up. Let's build the city up for them. Give them a, coffee shop and all the rest of it. They're being left alone. They're being left alone in igloos and stuff.
Yeah.
Why isn't anyone saying...
But they're not asking for help. They're happy. Well, they're not necessarily happy, but that's the way they live. That's where they choose to live.
But why hasn't anyone just gone over and gone, do you know what, we can make it a bit better for you?
Well, they have.
I've never had a leaflet through the door saying help an Eskimo out, or, clothing for Eskimos.
The most remote people in the world, eventually... Someone gets them some whiskey and fags, and that's the end of them as a culture. It happens all around the world. There can be this idyllic world where there's no stress, and soon they're watching Come Dancing on telly, knocking back some whiskey and smoking 40 fags a day.
But they're not moving,
Surely Dancing on Ice.
But what I mean is, like, Oxfam collects clothes for people in Africa where it's warm, probably don't need a jacket. Nothing for Eskimos where it's freezing, where they'd be quite happy to get a jumper in the post.
Right, okay. So what are you suggesting? To Africa we send parasols and sun cream? Yeah. You're an idiot.
Out of all the people in the world to have a chat with, do you know, what's his face? That German doctor?
Which one? The guy that displays the human body?
Guns, someone. Guns Traven, something.
Oh, right, yeah.
He's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the way, he cuts stuff up, shows you how the body works and that.
Sure.
And have you learned anything from that?
Well, I don't. Is he a proper doctor? Because it's just that it's always. I mean, I could cut a body up. I never see him sort of put it back together. Is anyone keeping an eye on him? Sort of going, well, who is he actually?
I'm sure he's a proper doctor.
Well, he sort of cuts bodies up on the telly and sort of goes, here's how like the intestines work or whatever.
Right.
And he just he holds them up, fills them with food. And he goes, look, they go fatter. And I mean, he doesn't answer everything. Like, he doesn't say, I don't understand why the intestines have to be that long. I don't know why it just can't go from the throat to the belly, exit, straight dark line down, out the arse.
You must know.
Well, no, because the way he dragged it out, and it was like miles long.
Yeah.
Pointless.
No, it's not pointless.
Just have a straight, you know what I mean? Straight down.
It's to increase the surface area for absorption. So a foot long intestine, you wouldn't absorb much food. Whereas you go down,
Yeah, but just have more points in it where it has to go through some sort of filter.
What are you talking about? Again, the evolution sort of worked this out for us. It really works.
I don't think you can improve on it. In your mind, some kind of kerplunk style.
No, but what I mean is that's probably that long because years ago they were eating dinosaur, and that might have took a lot of indigestion or something. I don't know how chewy it was. It might have been quite fatty, dinosaur meat, and it needs to go through all that. Now we're eating like yogurt. So I mean, we don't need anything that is doing that much work anymore. All the food is mashed up. Auntie Nora, right? All her food is mashed. Right? She doesn't have to chew anymore. She's got teeth, but she doesn't need them. And that's how.
She's got teeth, but she don't need them.
No, but that's how.
She could have her intestines removed then.
Well, no, but this is what I'm saying.
That was our other problem, wouldn't it?
We're changing everything all the time, aren't we? I mean, there's some fella who was looking at on the internet. Identical twins, right? They were sort of sick of looking like each other, so they were like, "What can we do?" Right? And one of the twins said, "You have my arm," right? And he had his arm taken off and stuck on his twin, so his twin's got like 3 arms.
No, it's not true.
It's on the website.
No, it's not true.
What, for a laugh? They were born,
so
they didn't have
what doctor's doing this then?
Well, they're old enough to sort of say this is what we want. And
No. Doctors don't go, well, if he wants another arm, and I'll take another. They don't. Doctors don't do that. What sort of practice is this doctor going around and going,
Dr. Jekyll?
I mean, Carl, think of what you're saying.
But
where would he have stopped? Can you put his head on my knee? It's up to you. Sign this. If you sign this, you give my consent.
But we, it is annoying.
What do you think these doctors sit around doing, playing Mr. Potato? Or what do you think these doctors are doing?
Just they do as they're told.
They don't do as they're told.
They do if someone wants it, and twins sort of, it can get you down, can't it? Being a twin, because it's like...
Sorry, what would this solve, though? I thought you said he gave one of them a bigger nose, or a beard, or 2 front teeth to make them look different, right? Not... I'll tell you what we could do. Go on. Would you like 1 arm? Go on, what are you thinking? Well, me 3, you 1, therefore not twins.
Novelty.
I mean, you are a mental man.
But they can do it now, can't they? There's no sort of... There's no line drawn anymore. They don't go, you're crazy, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, in Saw 2, Not in the real world.
No,
they don't do things like
all right,
this.
there's another bloke, right? I don't know the sort of full ins and outs of it.
Go on, you surprise me.
But what he asked for, something happened to his tackle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Penis. Yeah, right. So he was at the doctors, and they were like, "Oh, what can you do for me? It's a bit embarrassing. I've got nothing down there, right?" So they were like looking at it, going, "Yeah." Doctor, I don't know if he started like rubbing his chin with his finger or something. Looked down. He's thinking, got an idea. You've got a lot of fingers. How many of them do you use? The patient's like, I see what you're thinking. They cut off one of his fingers, sewn that on to where his tackle is. He's happy.
Well, that's different though, isn't it?
Well,
that's where they've
really
taken tissue. No, but I assume they fashioned it into more of a knob than a finger.
No, I still think he's there with like a little knuckle and fingernail and that.
Well, I assure you it isn't. They've probably used the finger as a basis to then build up some sort of knob-based organ.
If you were doing that, use a sausage. I mean, why lose a finger?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because your finger has your tissue, your blood type, and therefore would graft near your testicles. A sausage is a thing that's made by a butcher out of offal, okay, that really can't be grafted onto any part of the human body. That's why they very rarely use any meat products in surgery. Yeah, I know, yeah. I mean, why not use a sausage? You're a mental case.
I saw some bloke the other day in a meeting, and on his desk he had a picture of his kids who were twins, right? And they looked alike, and he did that thing of dressing them the same, that sort of thing that annoys me, right? And I sort of said, you've only got a small desk, just have a picture of one of them. He looked at me like I was mental.
That's amazing.
It's not. I think it's it's sort of common sense.
You know what you've come up with there? No solution to anything. That's what you've come up with there. You've come up with the best no solution I've ever heard in my life.
Or solutions to problems that don't exist.
No, because more room on the desk, isn't it?
Yeah. It's no solution to a problem that didn't exist in the first place. Well done.
There was a picture on when I was on the plane coming back from here, there was a picture of this new luxury hotel. It will be, I think, $10,000 a night to stay there. It looked extraordinary. It was a hotel, and the best rooms were built under the water, under the sea. Wow. So it was the best hotel we've ever seen, but surrounded on all sides by glass, and out of it you could see the sea, the sharks, the fish.
I don't think I'd like that.
No.
But that's just one of them hotels where it's over the top for over the top sake, isn't it? Like where they have 12-course meals. Well, just have 2, but make them bigger, rather than dragging it out. And there's the first course. A couple of
snails.
Yeah, it's just for me all that is.
Don't have one snail. Eat one big tortoise. If you want slow food, don't have loads of little snails. There's a giant tortoise. Tuck into that. Feeds 10. But it's what you were saying before. When you start having to take a risk with food, like the fish that can kill you if you eat it, don't bother. There's apparently a delicacy in Japan, again, someone could verify this, where they eat a live little octopus, and it can stick to your throat because it's obviously fighting for its life. I mean, good. Again, you don't need to eat a live octopus. What are you thinking? How cruel is that?
Well, how fresh do you need your food? It's not, do you know what I mean? But I always remember this story when I was a kid about some bloke who, bit sad story but weird, he had throat cancer, right? And his doctor said, carry on with your life, right? It's not going to be that good, but just carry on, but don't eat meat. And he was like, I love meat. He's like, yeah, but just don't, have your veg, plenty of vitamins and stuff, keep yourself strong, but don't be eating that anyway. He was fed up because he loved his meat, and his wife was feeling a bit sorry for him one day and thought, I'm sick of him looking fed up and that. Oh, they wanted some meat, for God's sake, give him some meat. So she goes to the butcher's, gets him a big piece of like steak and what have you. He can't believe it. He's like, oh, brilliant, cheers for that. Anyway, he's got the meat on his plate, just about to tuck in, and the cancer comes out from his throat
What?
No, it's something, I know, it sounds really weird, but it's something that I was told about years ago when I was growing up.
What are you talking about?
It was just some bad illness, some cancer thing, and it sort of, it was coming out waiting for the meat. It was sort of dying.
Again, I get a lot of your medical knowledge is from
the film Alien.
So this guy with throat cancer, okay, as opposed to it being a disease of the cell.
It was like a living...
The alien.
So it was the animal. It was the little animal cancer.
That's why
what are you talking about?
He wasn't allowed to eat meat.
So it's sitting there. So it's actually sitting there and throwing. Well, I'll tell you what I'd have done if I'd have had some cancer in my throat. I'd go, there you go. Rid of that. What are you talking about? So what happened?
He choked to death on this thing, and the wife was like, "Oh, I shouldn't give him the meat after all."
Just that's the bollock story.
It's all, there's loads of weird stuff like that.
There
that
is.
happens in medical stuff.
Well, the terrible thing is, if you got testicular cancer and you eat meat, your bollocks come out of your trousers, and they're all over the plate, and you have to be asked to leave the restaurant.
The other thing that I was told when I was younger about medical stuff and that.
Who's telling you this stuff?
My mum told me about it.
Jeez.
Because she always says to me, Dad, because he has too much meat, and she's always like, you know.
Remember the troll in his throat.
But my gran, she had something wrong with her eyes, and they sort of took them out, and they were just dangling on a cheek, and she could still see through them. They were operating on her.
Yeah, you would have, yeah.
They sort of say...
No, she wouldn't have been conscious then.
No, they were then, because it's something to do with the eyes, and it's like... No, it's no good operating on eyes if your eyes are asleep.
What do you mean, your eyes are asleep?
It's like a heart, isn't it? You want to keep them awake.
No,
so
what do you mean you want to keep them awake? What, heart surgery is blokes awake? Stop talking shit all your life.
What I mean is they don't stop the heart. They
don't stop your heart because it kills you.
Yeah, I know. So what I mean is it's like the eyes. They wanted to make sure they were working. So the only way to do it is keep her awake.
No, it's not, because you don't know whether they're working or not. You can't see what she sees. What you think? You can plug something in and see what people are thinking.
It was something like that.
No, it wasn't something like that.
Well, she could see. It was really weird. How, like, you know, you can see.
She could see her knees.
That is bollocks.
Oh, chimpanzee, that is only on and written it down, the little...
That's the jingle for Karl's diary, excerpts of which we read each week. Get straight into it. A band from the Conga have won the Best Newcomers in a Radio 3 competition. They use pots and pans for instruments. It says that the Conga is a poor, sad place. So why do people do that happy dance at the end of parties called the Conga?
Right, one is the Congo. There's no place called the Conga. They come from a place called the Congo. Where do you come from? Okie dokie. It's a terrible place that we don't know whether to put our left leg in or our right leg in. Sometimes we shake it all about.
We're not sure if we should.
But Conga! Fucking hell, you're such a...
Went into the gadget shop today. It's full of stuff that we don't need. Gadget used to be a good word that made you think of James Bond with all his gadgets. The best thing I could find in the shop was a clock that ran on potatoes. We are definitely going backwards.
I agree. Well, who cares about that? A little electrical impulse, so what?
Had a night out with old schoolmate. Found out about more of the other lads I went to school with. One is living underground.
What do you mean living underground? Not like a mole. Do you mean he's got a basement, or do you mean he digs a hole every night?
My mate went to visit him and he said it had been raining really heavily and that, and it's all the rain's running in.
What do you mean he went to visit him? He went down here? What's that? That's an hole in the ground. Yeah, come in.
He just said, oh, come round see us, and he's living underground.
What do you mean he's living underground?
He wanted to be in the army but was turned away, and that's the closest thing you can sort of...
How is that similar to living in the army? Oh, that's exactly like the army, yeah, where they teach you trades and, engineering and flying.
He's happy down there. He said it was really muddy and what have you. He said he won't be going back to visit him.
What's he got down there?
Just stuff, just like a sleeping bag, a lamp.
He's dug himself a subterranean cave.
Near my old infant school, they knocked it down because it was like a wreck. You'd be in the class and you could lean on the wall.
Yeah,
and your hand would go through it and stuff. And they knocked it all down, and I think that's when he was at his most happy. this bloke.
I believe this, though. I believe someone he went to school with now lives in a hole. That doesn't shock me. When the tales I've heard of horses in houses and big-headed kids with webbed hands and feet, and him, I believe that someone he went to school with now lives in a hole. That isn't bizarre to me.
You spent far too long with him if that now you're just happy to accept.
I totally accept that. I'd be surprised if I walked round where he lived that there weren't more people living in holes. His dad wanted to throw his budgie on the fire.
True.
His budgie died, his dad said, let's throw it on the fire. I mean, his mum, what did your mum do when your budgie died?
She just was worried about the other bird that was left, so she made it a bit of company by getting a rock, getting a feather off the dead budgie, sticking it on a rock, putting it in the cage.
So, a man living in a hole is not that bizarre. Right, carry on.
I read my science magazine. Some things I learned from the science magazine. Number 1, space is running out of space. We should stay out of the sea because shark attacks are up.
Yeah, probably 4 a year now.
What he just says here, we should just stop going in the sea.
Yeah.
There's no need for it.
Exactly.
Why is there no need for going in the sea?
Just because there isn't now, is there? We've got loads of land. So just, one or the other. We walked out the sea. Now, this is what I mean about going backwards. Getting back in it again. We came from the sea originally. Now we're going back in it. Don't go in it. Unless you're in a boat.
The rules, according to Karl Pilkington.
The rules of Karl Pilkington.
Oh, God.
Did the podcast and then went for a walk round Manchester Square. Years ago, a woman lived round there who had a head like a pig. She was known as the Pig Woman of Manchester Square. That made me think if there were other pig-headed women knocking around London.
Do you know what I mean? Why was she nicknamed that? Why not just the pig-headed woman? That suggests to me like there was loads of pig-headed women, and that's the one of Manchester Square.
Right.
Well, no, it was more to do with identifying her, not amongst other pig-headed women, but go, have you seen the Pig Woman of Manchester Square? I.e., go down there and see the Pig Woman, this is Manchester Square.
What happens if she's walked off from there, though, and you go, well, no, but I saw one on New Cavendish Street.
No, she'll always come back if you rattle the feed.
Watched a film about Hitler. Didn't watch all of it as it was subtitled. Can't be doing with that. Asked Suzanne if cinemas are full of deaf people when they're showing subtitled films. She said, shh, I'm trying to watch it. I said, what do you mean, shh? It's subtitled, I can make as much noise as I want.
Yeah.
She's a lucky, lucky woman.
It must be a joy to watch a subtitled film. I mean, the concentration is up there already. I mean, it is hard to concentrate. It's not as easy as when you're hearing it, because, you read things, but, it's possible. If you had a buffoon going, I'm just going to sit here and make as much noise as I want, what's the point of that?
Yeah.
What is the point of that? I mean, it's possible, but why do that in a cinema? Just walk into a subtitled film and go, right, everybody, let's all do the conga.
Well, yeah, or during ballet. In ballet they're just dancing. You don't need to listen to the words, just have a conversation. We're having our bathroom done. The bathroom man was round at 9 this morning. We weren't allowed to use the shower because it all had to be bone dry before we could use his waterproof filler. Not that waterproof then. Went for a brew with Ricky. We talked about monkeys and how they are closer to humans than they are to apes, and how bees will drink cider to get off their heads. Now and again there is a bee that lets the drinking get in the way of the work, and other bees sting it to death. Blimey.
Yeah, well, there's bees. They love a drink, and they will drink pure alcohol. They drink 100%. They drink ethanol. I don't know why. They love getting off it, and they fall down and they're drunk. Right? A bee can take in the equivalent of like 20 litres of wine, right? But some bees get addicted in the same sort of percentage as human addiction, like 10% of bees, they can't get enough of it. They take ethanol, they take cider apples and that, and then when they get back to the hive, they go in a bit pissed, and they've got guard bees, and they go, come on, we've all had the drinks. Yeah, they sort of are, right? And they push them away, and push them away again. Then the next time they go, right, I've had enough, and they give it a good hiding. And Karl couldn't get over this. I saw his face, but I knew that he was thinking of that bee with sort of like eyes rolling around his head, a little bit belligerent with his jacket on backwards.
Yeah.
And the bouncer going, come on, son, we've all had enough. Let's move away, move away.
You're not coming in, right? You're wearing trainers.
Yeah, you're wearing 3 pairs of trainers, and I'm sick of it.
But what I did find out, because I went home and went on the computer and tried to find out about drunk bees knocking about. They're not actually meant to fly. It's only because they don't know.
Fly.
Well, no, but if they were told that you're not actually designed to fly, they wouldn't bother.
No, this is that thing that goes around that aerodynamically, on the face of it, looking at the size of the wings and the body proportions and everything, that it's a surprise that they can fly. Okay, it's not that no one's ever told them they can't, and as soon as someone tells me you're not meant to fly, they all fall out of the sky going, "Oh, what are we doing?" Like in a cartoon.
No, but it's something about the confidence and that. At the moment, nobody's saying.
It's nothing to do with the confidence. There is no such thing as confidence in bees. A bee never loses its nerve. That's not why it drinks. Because what are you drinking for? It's just not confident anymore. Which no might turn to the bottle. I can't go up there again. You're an idiot. Well, it's that time, isn't it?
What?
Rockbusters.
Ah, yes, the time that no one looks forward to.
Chimpanzee that Rockbusters.
Right, so gave you 3 clues last week, 3 cryptic clues. Some initials of a band or an artist you emailed in. Rob Harding got it, right?
Oh, nice work, Rob.
So well done. The 3 clues, the first one was RP for the initials, and the clue was steal that woman's flower, right? So that was a cryptic clue. The answer is Robert Plant.
Robert Plant. I don't know who that is though. There's no artist called Robert Plant.
That's like Robert Plant. Robert Plant.
Yeah, but
you don't say that. You sort of go, oh yeah, I'm into it.
You do say it. It means like
album by Robert Plant.
Robert Plant.
They wouldn't go what?
I don't know. Are you saying rubber plant?
The second
what are you saying there, Carl? Though
the second one was.
It doesn't work.
The initial was B, and then that was keep whacking the cooker with a stick, right?
Yeah.
Didn't have to be a stick. We pointed that out. Just keep whacking the cooker.
Keep whacking the cooker. Yeah.
That was B. That was beat oven.
Beat oven. I don't know who that is either. Is that a group?
Beat oven.
Is that the Beatles? Who's the Beat Ovens?
Classical sort of stuff. Beethoven. Beat oven.
No, you said beat.
Again, they got it.
Bait. Hold on, wait a minute.
Just saying though.
No, it's bollocks. Because no, beat oven. Yeah. It's not Beethoven.
You got it.
Do you understand?
The last one, the initial was M, right?
I just want to know who Robert Plant is.
Don't be worrying about Robert.
Because it's not a name. He's not the one in Led Zeppelin, is he?
So M was the initial. The clue was Venice. It's all water, isn't it? How would you describe it? There's hardly any land, right? So if there's hardly any land, right, it's more water. What sort of water would you get, right? And then what?
Wetville.
No, but just like water that in Venice. What sort of water is it? It's sort of
muddy.
No, not
muddy waters.
No, but how would you describe Venice?
What's the
if there's more.
But what's the initial again?
M. If there's more
muddy waters.
If there's more sea than land, what would you say? Would you probably say there's sort of more of it is sea, isn't it? More is sea.
More is sea.
More is sea.
More is sea.
More is sea. So that's the answer.
I don't know that.
Who is that?
Morrissey. Morrissey. So well done to.
That's the worst one you've ever done.
It's ridiculous.
That's the worst you've ever done.
It's ridiculous.
More is sea.
Right. If they're that shit, don't do it anymore.
So well done to Robert Harding. He's in London. Right, this week's there's another 3.
Oh so, God, we haven't even come to this week's. I forgot that.
This is the last time we do this. Monkey News back next week.
No.
Yeah, well, this is shit. This is pathetic. Really, it's making you look a bigger moron than you are. More is C. Robert Plant. They don't fucking work. Let's do Monkey News.
They're getting them right though. It's a bit of fun, isn't it?
Bit of shit.
Right. The first one, the initials ND. Right. ND. Who is it? He sings songs and that. Right. ND. The clue, that Jamaican fella doesn't want anything. So you've got to sort of imagine, why is it a Jamaican fella?
Yeah.
Right? That Jamaican fella doesn't want anything. ND. Second one, the initial is E. I ask him to pass me the ball by using their head. Right? It's a band or an artist again. I ask him to pass me the ball by using their head. And the last one, TR, the initials, TR. He's got the woolly ones, but I've got the ones that run and charge at you. What forgot?
What?
He's got the woolly ones, but I've got the ones that run and charge at you. So what forgot?
And what's the
TR for the initials. Right? Email in podcast@rickygervais.com. We just pick a winner, sing you some stuff. It's Rockbusters.
Right? Well, that's end of another half hour of Could I just say this? Absolute drivel.
Yeah, I mean, really more than ever.
I mean,
can I be honest with you now, Rick? I'm embarrassed to put my name to this week's show because the amount of twaddle there's been.
It's my name on it, which is the embarrassing. But you know, let's take the village idiot that is Karl Pilkington. It's his fault because I realised not only he's got an head like an orange, he's got a fucking IQ of an orange. So it's goodbye from me. I'm not saying my name. Goodbye from Steve Merchant.
Don't make my name. Don't mention
but
my
mostly
name.
goodbye from Karl Pilkington.
Mainly his fault.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Hello and welcome to another Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant.
Hello.
And Karl Pilkington. The 9th in a series of 12 podcasts we're doing for free.
Absolutely free of charge.
We're getting, we've already done over sort of 2.5 million downloads. We'll probably do 4 million downloads by the end of the series. If I had a quid...
I don't even want to discuss it, Rick.
You are gutted,
I'm
aren't you?
absolutely furious, because I said to you when we studied this, I said, why, you were going, let's give something free back to the fans, and I was saying, it's not worth it, they don't deserve it. But no, you demanded it, and I wanted to pay, I want to charge crazy money.
I've been a fool. We've had about something like 6,000 emails as well. If we could channel this to good, because you know what I mean, this internet has been set up, billions and billions of dollars go on this cyber highway, back and forth, doing good stuff, communicating, sending people into space, commerce, and people, hundreds of thousands of people are sending me pictures of Karl as a monkey.
I know, exactly.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
It's not what this system was created for.
Thank you for all your emails as well. That cost us as well a little bit, because they're going through the website, which costs us a little bit of money.
But it also costs me my precious time, having to wade through the crap that gets sent to us.
Thanks to Kieran Gabriel from Merseyside, who sent me a picture of Karl as Bruce Willis. It's the effort. We'll put all these up on the website. David Weinstein has started his own T-shirt range, I Could Eat a Knob at Night. And Paul Devon has sent me this caricature of Karl, and it's brilliant. Again, I think they're wasting their energies. It's actually a brilliant painting of a little round, bald-headed Manx, some sort of like freak creature.
Yeah.
Whereas he could have done a beautiful painting. But thanks to all those.
I have actually waded through the emails, and I obviously, again, like Ricky, I echo the thanks for sending in all the different questions and comments about the show. And there's so many, it's impossible to obviously even reply to them or talk about them. But a couple of that struck me. Emily from New York has asked Karl this. Karl, if you were on a sinking ship or you were in a burning building and you were with myself and Ricky, but you could only save one of us, I don't know why that's the case, but you could only save one of us, who would you save? Would it be Ricky or would it be me?
I think it's a two-man dinghy.
Right, okay.
Possibly. And we're trapped, and he knows that if he stays there to get both our legs out from under this thing...
the girder.
Yeah, he dies, so he's got room, he's got time to save one. It's obviously me.
It's hard to say, isn't it, at this point?
What, because Steve's in the room, you mean?
Well, no, just because we don't know what the situation is.
Okay, well, let's say we're on a sinking ship, all right? So you're going to have to rescue one of us, drag us into the dinghy.
It's going under. You know, in 30 seconds, okay, this ship's going to go under and drag you down and you're going to die, right? And our legs are trapped and you've got enough time to untangle one set of legs. Whose legs do you untangle?
Now, just because my legs are long does not necessarily mean it's more complicated.
No, it's exactly the same amount of time. Just have to make a choice. A terrible choice that Steve would not, hate me for.
Well, no, listen.
He won't be around for long. He's going to drown in 30 seconds. We'll get him.
Bear in mind this, Karl. You are going to be stuck in a dinghy with Ricky Gervais, and who knows how long that's going to take. Yeah. Think of all the head squeezing that's going to be going on, the comments, the wind-up. And do you honestly think that he's going to, if there's any provisions, that he's going to split them evenly with you? I mean, he's going to have drunk all the water, and there's only going to be about half an hour in. The food's going to be gone. Look at his gut. Look how much, of the food he's going to have to eat, the baked beans that you've got on board. Whereas me, you know how generous I am. I'm always sort of helping
there
you
we
out.
go, Karl. I think he's put the nail in his own coffin there. You know how generous I am, Karl. Let's talk about that, Karl. Come on, think about that one.
Yeah, I mean, have you forgot about that, Steve?
What?
The time when We went for a coffee, and we had to have a bit of a heated debate about the 50p change.
Yeah, you owed me 50p, and you decided you didn't want to give it to me because it was only 50p. And my point was, it's not a question of 50p, it's the fact that it's not your decision to decide not to give it to me. If I wanted to be generous, that's my decision. But you can't go, oh, it's only 50p, Steve.
It's my decision.
But you just given him a free keg of beer.
Yeah.
But that did not come to you, and you didn't pay for the free keg of beer. It was a promotional thing that was sent to you.
It's the same thing as the way I gave Suzanne my leaving present from my last job.
A lot of people may not be aware of this if they haven't heard us talking about it before. Yes, but you had a gift from your work as you were leaving after however many years of service, which you then gave straight to your girlfriend without telling her that it had been received from people at work.
Doesn't matter. She wanted a camera. It's the same thing as you. You wanted that lager that I got for free. It hasn't cost you anything. It doesn't matter where I got it from.
So you now decide, because you've given me a free crate of lager, that you can now say, oh, actually, I'm not, in the future, I'll just take your money, Steve, on a whim.
Well, listen, don't argue like this. You're rocking the dinghy. Carl, have some of my cheese.
Imagine if do you imagine he would ever say that? Do you imagine him ever offering you any of his cheese?
Are you going to save, Carl, mate?
I don't want to say.
Can we say on the website? Can you just do a little explanation of why on the website? Can they... We'll think about it, and
I might do a sort of a for and against or something, and then so the conclusion is
okay, all right,
something like that.
Go to rickygervais.com.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Well, I've been waiting for this for a week. It's a regular feature now. When we read from Karl's diary, Karl decided to keep a diary. He's gone through with it. I could see it there. It's massive. It's a huge desk diary that he has to carry around with him, and the pages are getting full up. You're really keeping to this.
Yeah.
Right, this is extracts from Karl's diary.
Did podcast and went for an Italian with Ricky and Steve. The Italian place is good. We've been there a few times. I always have the same thing, spaghetti. Can't remember what everyone else had. Last time we went there, Steve had little octopuses with pasta. You could see that they were octopuses. They hadn't been cut up or anything. My rule is that I only eat stuff that looks nice when it's alive. A cow, a chicken, some fish. An octopus is an odd-looking thing alive. Even worse when it's dead and limp. It looks like it just shouldn't have been sat in the spaghetti.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Ricky drew another picture of my head. We've given a few of them away as prizes, but he draws so many of them that they won't be worth as much anymore. Everyone will eventually have one. Like those pictures of a boy crying that caused houses to burn down in the 1980s.
What does that mean?
What are you talking about?
Don't you remember if you're listening in America, they might not have made it over there.
Is it the sort of like the sugary ones with kids? Like, is it Techicon or something?
It's just some kid. My Auntie Nora had one, and it was just like a kid with like a blue jumper on, and it's like a painting, not a photo.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And he's just crying.
Like a chocolate box. It's really awful, sort of sugary.
And what happened is they found out that a load of houses were being set on fire or burst into flames, whatever. And the weird thing was...
Oh, it's bollocks.
Every house that burned down had that photo.
Yeah, because every house had that picture in the fucking 70s and 80s. Idiot. It's like, we're linking it to sinks. Every house that's ever burnt down had a sink. You're talking shit again. Carry on.
Wednesday. Saw a homeless bloke. I'm surprised that no companies have thought about sponsoring the homeless. Something like a clothing company. Give them some clothes that have an advert on the back. Everyone's a winner.
Good idea.
Bad, is it?
Got on the tube to Camden. Read in a free newspaper that hedgehogs could be gone by 2025. I think I've seen more dead hedgehogs than alive ones anyway, so I don't think I'll miss them. Went round to Ricky's house and had a game of pool. It should have been nice and relaxing, but Jane gave me some cake, and Ricky said I can't play pool if my hands are all sticky from cake.
It was the sugar. And it wasn't that either. After he'd finished it, they weren't just sticky. He was licking his fingers, sucking his fingers off, and then was going to pick up pool cues and touch things. And I was thinking, go and wash your hands after licking your hands. You're not a cat.
This turned into an argument when I said I didn't want to wash my hands.
Why didn't he? Disgusting.
He goes for a piss all the time without washing his hands, and then squeezes my head. I know I prefer to have lemon cake crumbs on my head than knob juice. Was going to do a crossword, but I'm tired and have learnt enough today.
What have you learned?
Well, stuff about hedgehogs and that.
Oh, God. Was on my way to my mates and I got on a train. Got close to a station but realised I needed a wee. Was about to go in a cubicle when a blind man with a dog who was bumbling his way through the walkway came around. I said, "Are you after the toilet?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "It's on your right." I shouldn't have let him go first, as he took ages and it would be my stop soon. The dog waited outside the cubicle. I was going to stroke it, but then I remembered someone telling me that you shouldn't. Don't know
Why
what that
not?
is.
Because something to do with the owner should be the only one who sort of deals with that dog, and you shouldn't.
Well, you shouldn't stroke it because you'll cover it in fucking lemon cake.
No, but just because, you know, if you stroke it and that, it might like me and want to go off with me, and he'll come out and be lost and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not totally sure, but I just thought, you know.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
A few people have sent this in, including Paul, the party animal Parker. I wonder if anyone else in his school... I mean, for some reason we've just assumed he's in school. I don't think there's any actual proof of that. But
I reckon he left in June, and he's doing sort of bits and pieces, but he's still in that party animal.
Do you think he can hold down a job? Is he just partying so hard that...
He can hold down a job. He often arrives late.
Sure.
And the boss, who's in an overall, will go, "Parker, you're late again." He goes, "Yeah," talks to the hand. Yeah.
I think that he's the sort of guy that he'll just happily say, "Listen, I survive on 4 hours sleep.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go to work, I've not slept at all."
But I think he comes in with his headphones blaring, right, on a skateboard, and the bloke goes up to him, the old bloke, right, the old fuddy-duddy bloke, goes, You stupid idiot, you can't go there. He goes, "Chill out, man," and in 2 minutes, he's got him dancing.
Oh, I know what he's like. Yeah, he is just like, he just can't resist it, because he's just a fun guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, Paul and a few other people have sent in this piece of information they've discovered from one of the more respected news networks. The headline is this: "Female kidney turns lumberjack onto housework."
Right.
Now, a Croatian lumberjack apparently has claimed that he started enjoying housework and knitting after he was given a female kidney. He claims he's going to sue his local health authority because he says he's become a laughingstock. He used to enjoy heavy drinking sessions and things. The kidney transplant saved his life, but they never warned me about the side effects. "I've developed a strange passion for female jobs, like ironing, sewing, washing dishes, sorting clothes in wardrobes, and even knitting."
Well, if he likes it, what's the problem? It's nonsense. It's nonsense. Hold on, though. What makes me laugh is he's become a laughing stock. So what do you do when you become a laughing stock? Tell the newspapers.
Well, yeah.
Tell the newspapers about it, because then that'll keep it completely under wraps. Then.
But it's the sort of medical nonsense that Karl would normally come out with.
Absolutely. That you know, you take on the personality of the person who gave you their blood.
Exactly. It's like those old sort of horror stories, you know, you get given a murderer's hand.
Yeah.
And you go around killing.
But there can be certain medical things that would change the way you think and would change you as a person. Say like how they can do face transplants now.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't quite understand how this face transplants work, because do you get a choice of who you have? If you have something done to your face and you go, you know, it's burnt or whatever, or something happens to you and you need a face transplant.
Well, if you totally changed your appearance, then you would eventually change because of how people reacted to you.
Yeah, but
if you gave yourself the head of an elephant, soon you wouldn't be yourself. Because
I wouldn't have that. That's what I'm saying. If they had a catalogue and they said, "Here's some faces you can have, pick which one you want."
Yeah.
Would you be looked upon badly if you go, "Do you know what? I don't really like the look of any of them. Can I just wait for a better face?" Or at this moment in time, have you just got to take what's on offer?
Karl, there's no one looking through catalogues at faces they might be able to have.
No, they do now because of the face transplant thing.
But who are these people putting their face up? They wait till someone...
Yeah, I know, but at some point... Well, I tell you what, I would not have a face transplant if I haven't seen the face before I'm going to have it.
You have to...
I want to see what I'm having. Because I could end up with anything. You mentioned elephant's head. Do you know what I mean? Whose head are they going to use? Is it the latest thing that's died? Oh, well, this got run over before. Yeah, I'll stick this on your head.
But where did this come from? Where
is his mind?
Where are these faces queuing up to be popped on a skull? Where do you think they have got time to put all these...
Maybe this is why it won't catch on. I don't know.
This is extraordinary. You've created in your own head the existence of this pamphlet, and now you're defending it, even though we don't know it even exists.
And you're this skull on a hospital bed going, "I'm not having that. I don't like the look of him. He looks a bit shifty. I don't like that. Oh, no."
Can I ask this now? Let's say we passed away sadly in something terribly tragic. The nation's mourned. You know, it's terrible. It's like one of the great national disasters. But you, at the same time, you survived the accident, okay, but your face is hideously disfigured. You can take either Ricky's face or mine to have.
I'm surprised you're asking this though, Steve. I mean, it's just, it doesn't seem like any of them is like a great option.
Oh, thanks.
And this is what I'm saying about the catalogue. If those two were on offer, I might go, do you know what? Pop in again tomorrow. Bring in another booklet.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
This is from Anne-Marie Melvin in Amsterdam. She says that she loves the podcast. She listens with her 7 months old baby. That cannot be a good idea. And she says this to you, Karl. If you had children, what is the most important lesson you'd want to teach them?
I mean, in a way, if you sort of look after a kid too much, it doesn't learn that much. But if you let it learn by its mistakes, it'll probably grow up all right.
But there are some mistakes you can't afford it to make to learn from.
Yeah, driving a car the wrong way down a motorway.
Testing if the fire really is hot.
No, but say like the time...
Does broken glass really taste horrible? These are lessons you don't want it to learn from mistakes.
Yeah, you can tell them that.
Yeah,
but what I mean is there's certain things that... I just think there was a kid who grew up in our avenue, right, on the estate, who, when it was born, right, we kind of thought it's got no chance, this kid, because its mum was a bit of a rumman. You know,
a woman? Where's that?
No, just like, you know, she liked going out and having a fag and like having a drink, and she's never at home. It's the one who had the horse in the house.
Sure.
Which I don't want to go over.
Sure. It's old news.
It's out there, isn't it? If you want to find out about the horse in the house. But she had a kid, and everyone was pretty surprised when they saw it because it was a good-looking kid.
Yeah.
Which was a surprise because, like, you know, the man wasn't that good-looking, the dad was a bit rough. But it came out. And she was showing it around the avenue, going, look at this I've had. And she was chuffed with it because it's probably like one of the newest things she's ever had. Because everything else was always sort of second down and what have you. But suddenly she's got this brand new little baby, right? Anyway, as it grew up, right, those looks went. Right. And I'm not talking getting old. I'm talking by the age of about 3. It looked rough already, right? And all that just happened because that's the life it was in, right?
Yeah.
So like it had like a patchy head. Its hair.
It what? It had a patchy head.
A patchy head. It's just sort of.
It wasn't a North American Indian. What do you mean, a patchy head?
Just his hair was patchy. He used to chase sort of cars and stuff.
Chase cars? Sorry. What do you mean?
That's what he did for his.
Sorry, did she let it get raised by wolves?
No. but all I'm saying is that at the end of the day, what is it that makes a person? Do you know what I mean? Now, I don't know what state he's in now, but maybe he learned all his mistakes by the age of 4. I'm guessing he's not chasing cars now, but at least he's done it.
I'm guessing he is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? At least he can go, yeah, I've been there, done that, and you don't go back to it, and you can get away with doing dafter things when you're a kid, can't you? I nearly killed a man once, right?
Okay, right.
Well, that time when I was in Wales, and I was having a walk with my dad on the cliffs and that,
yeah.
I just picked up a big rock, right? Chucked it off the edge, and as I chucked it off the edge, I noticed a fella was walking down below.
Jeez.
And I missed his head by, like, inches. Now, I've never chucked a rock off a bridge or, like, off a cliff or anything.
And it only took one man to almost lose his life for you to learn that lesson.
Yeah, but that's how you learn your lessons,
yeah.
isn't it?
See, a lot of people would have said that maybe your dad should have said, hey, Karl, what are you doing?
No, but he didn't know I was doing it. I didn't say I'm going to chuck this off there. I just picked it up and chucked it. And, like, as I let go of it, I noticed the fellow was down there. You live and you learn. That's a little mantra.
Right.
You live and you learn. So the woman who's had the kid, sort of look after it, feed it, make sure it's got shoes and that, but let it roam about.
That's great.
There's the advice for you, Anne-Marie.
I love that.
Good luck. Just let your 7-month-old baby roam about. Karl, a lot of people are absolutely fascinated to find out how you met Suzanne, your girlfriend of how long?
Ages.
Yeah. And they can't comprehend how, well, I suppose that there's any woman out there.
Well, there's someone for everyone, isn't there?
Yeah.
That's always my thing. And it's reassuring, I think. You know, we've chatted about the face transplants and that. You know, there's a face for everyone.
It's philosophy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really unbelievable.
No, there is someone for everyone, no matter what condition you're in or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I read on the email, someone emailed in an old Chinese proverb,
Is it old though? You know the Chinese proverbs don't age well.
It's something about everyone, everything, no matter what it is, has got one talent, right? And that's the same way in a relationship, isn't it? That everyone, there's always someone out there, and that. I like the Chinese. There's another Chinese proverb that I learned on an email.
Go on.
He who cuts the wood up warms himself twice.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
And then someone sent in that one about too many Chinese cooks spoil the broth.
Why is that's I don't know who slipped the word Chinese in there, but I heard it as too many cooks.
Well, it was just all sort of Chinese proverbs and that.
One of my favourite on the same subject is a camel is a horse designed by committee.
What do you mean?
Well, it's having a go at the camel, and it shouldn't. But it's just it's just a metaphor. And if you wanted to design a horse and you had that vision, but you let 12 people in a room have their say, it wouldn't come out as you wanted it to do, and it wouldn't be as good. A vision is more perfect than committee, because everyone having their say, it becomes anodyne, it becomes compromised. Whereas the best things you can do is have an idea and have a vision and auteur that.
Rick, can I just say now, I can tell from his look that he's thinking, which committee designed the camel?
Well, I'd say, why would you request the ump bit? Because that's just going to get in the way, isn't it? I've always said that about a lot of animals. It's like we've doubled up on a lot of them. We've chatted about elephants and mammoths, one or the other. And that's the same with a camel. I'd have that up there as what they're doing. They were good years ago, in the Jesus times and that. Don't need them now. You know what I mean? We've moved on.
Well, not people who use camels to cross deserts.
I'm going to throw some animals at you, and you tell how you'd have improved them if you'd have been designing them. Okay? The octopus.
So I can now go back, I can look at them and go, what are they doing?
And where have they gone wrong? What's up with you? How could you improve it? Like the camel, you'd go lose the ump.
I'd probably give it a bit more of a body. Cut down on the arms. And give it some bones, because I don't understand all this. Getting in a jar is good. When does it want to get in a jar? It says...
Well, it only wants to get in a jar according to your stories.
No, but there's something that says it can get in a jar because it hasn't got any bones, but I don't know why it want to do that in the first place.
I can't even begin to answer that. Once again, you claimed that you've read that they like to get in jars. I mean, how do they know that octopus like to get in jars?
Oh, God, I love it. You can improve on an octopus. Millions and millions of years of evolution, making it perfect for its surroundings. Okay, another animal for you then, Carl.
Giraffe?
What are they adding to the world? What are they doing?
Well, it's not about what they add to the world,
no, but
is
I thought that's what everything's about. It's about things are here for a reason.
Because they work. The only reason is that they survived. They passed on their genetic material and evolved and was chosen by nature. It was selected.
But there seems to be a lot...
The reason they're here is because they didn't die. That's it.
No, but there seem to be a lot of animals that are like...
Do you think there's a lot of cheating? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying, there just seems to be a lot of doubling up.
Yeah, so you get it down to like 8 animals that represented all of them. Okay, who would get in your team? You can choose 8 animals.
This is what I'm saying. If I was Noah, I would have gone like, hang on a minute. I've just seen something that looks a bit like this. Let it drown. And have a clear out. But he didn't. He was messing about saving everything.
He was instructed by God to save everything, to be fair to him.
Yeah, but if he's been given that job, for me, he's sort of manager of that job.
So you believe Noah as well? You believe Noah happened as well, and he built a boat big enough to catch 2 of every species. You actually believe that as fact, do you?
Well, it's out there in book form.
Brilliant.
Right.
We haven't answered the question that we started with. How did you meet Suzanne?
Just that word.
Thanks.
Oh, chimpanzees are monkey music!
There was this airline, and was having a lot of problems, and a lot
What,
of
pilot's too tall?
Yeah, the cabin was so tiny.
Only bananas were allowed in the cockpit for fuel.
Anyway, there was a lot of strikes going on, right?
Sure.
Because I don't know what it was about. It was over money or whatever.
Yes.
And
Well, get something that doesn't need money.
yeah, but
But what else could you pay something in, Rick? I mean,
peanuts.
Okay, peanuts or fruit. Yeah.
So anyway, the boss of the airline, he had like one pilot who he could trust, right? And that was his son.
Right.
But the problem is with a lot of these planes, you need two pilots.
Of course you do.
And he's like, if only I had two sons, but he didn't. There's no point harping on about it. Right?
Sure.
He runs an airline?
He runs an airline, yeah.
But how many pilots are there? Because there must be loads.
No, there's loads, but the problem is a lot of them are going on strike.
Oh.
And each week you can see that we're struggling here.
But how can they? But if it was just the pilots that were striking, was it?
Yeah, the pilots were striking, yeah.
So all the ground staff and luggage handlers and all that was okay in the cab?
They were fine, it's just pilots were not happy with the deal and what have you.
Yeah. Well, just close it down.
No way, you can't do that.
No,
Rick.
of course you can't.
It's costing them a fortune. You close it down.
Yeah, but what one plane's not going to make a difference in an airline, is it?
No, it's all the planes.
It's all the planes, mate.
Yeah, I know exactly. So if he's only got one person he could trust, knock it on the head.
No. What's the point? You've got to keep going. You can't just nip stuff in the bud like that. If you got a dream, keep it alive.
I know, but not with one plane and your son.
So anyway,
I don't know.
Well, but that's the least of his problems, Rick, because he's got his son who's a brilliant pilot. He's the only guy he can trust. But it takes two people to fly.
Well, you can't fly then.
So the son, he's flying the planes and that. He's getting worried for his dad because of his business. It's falling apart. He's like, anyway, listen.
Well, one plane won't make any difference.
Don't worry about it. We've found someone who you can work with. And he's like, but I get past the picket line because, you know I'm your son anyway and they'll leave me alone. But any other pilot, you're going to start giving him grief.
They're tearing him to shreds, yeah.
He said, don't worry about it.
Unless you could swing over the heads of all the strikers.
He said he's staying over near the sort of quarantine area where all the animals are kept and stuff.
Right.
They won't be looking in there. They won't bother.
No.
So he's like, all right.
There's no animal that could be a co-pilot, that's why.
I'll see you, he'll meet up with you in the cockpit.
He'll meet up in the cockpit, yeah, sure.
So anyway, he gets in there, he meets them. At first, a little bit of a shock who he's going to be working with, but he's thinking, as long as I can keep my dad's business alive, I can
Not with
keep
one
a job.
plane. Not
So,
with one plane.
anyway, what happens is, the strike's going on, he's flying, he's got his mate with him flying, helping out.
Who's his mate? What's his mate's name?
The flights are brilliant, right? Everybody's loving them. They can't believe how smooth they are.
Sure.
But, the shares are going through the roof. Everybody's like, wanting to fly.
This one plane they've got.
That wouldn't make any difference.
Everyone's saying, it's only a small plane, but it's worth getting on there.
And it's a small plane as well.
It's a great experience.
Gone under, I'd have thought. There's
So
no way
anyway-
they can keep that alive.
Apparently they can.
So they're keeping this plane up in the air and what have you, and everybody's booking the holidays. It's almost like the favourite bit of the holiday. They're loving the flights that much.
Why?
Because it's really good flights.
I don't understand what difference.
Apparently it's a great flight.
It makes.
It's silent.
So
Understand
anyway,
what difference it makes.
everyone's happy. Then one day, what happens is a little bit of a problem.
Oh dear. You're not going to tell us that sort of co-pilot Coco he's not able to make it work, is he?
Well, what happened is one woman who was on the plane got a bit peckish,
Right.
and said to the air hostess woman, said, "Oh, a little bit peckish. Have you got any sort of nibbles and that?" She went, "No, I've got a sandwich." She said, "I don't really want a sandwich. You want some, like the usual stuff that planes give out, just like a bag of nuts or something."
Well, are they not giving those out yet?
So no, they don't give it for some reason. She was like, "Look, we've stopped giving out the nuts. We can get you a sandwich." And no one's like, "I don't want a sandwich. I just want some nuts." Do you know what I mean? A sandwich is quite a big meal. Or whatever. I just want some nibbles, want some nuts.
Well, that's not available. Done. End of story.
Can't get your nuts. She said, "Well, why aren't there any nuts?" She said, "Well, the airlines had problems and stuff, and maybe that was one of the cutbacks. We've never took the nuts back on."
Yeah, sure.
So she wouldn't just leave it. She wanted the nuts, right? She's having a lovely flight and everything. She said, "I cannot complain about the flight. The
No,
flight
sure.
is brilliant.
Yeah. Whoever's up there flying this plane is doing a
She's
dynamite
doing a
job.
great job, but I need some nuts."
Right.
Anyway, so there
aren't any.
Very demanding woman.
There aren't any.
It's a very demanding woman.
There aren't any.
Look, she's paid big money, right? She's probably in first class. She wants nuts, she's going to get
Nah,
nuts.
there aren't any. Leave it.
If she has to force her way into the cabin to get nuts, she's going to get
Well,
nuts.
she can't go there because she'll be shot. Because with the security problems and that, there's no way she could ever go to the cockpit. That would never happen.
So she said, "Well, you're saying there aren't any nuts." She said, "But earlier I saw you put a tray outside the cockpit, right? It had a sandwich on it, 2 Cokes and 2 bags of nuts." Right. She said, "So you're saying there aren't any, but the pilot's getting..."
Well, aren't they now? That was the last 2 packets. Done.
No. So
Let's go home.
So she's going, you can't have any.
We know, we understand now there's a dispute.
So she said, well, I'll go and have a word with the pilot myself because you only put him out there a few minutes ago. He can't have
You
eaten.
can't.
I'm
cannot
going
go.
over.
No.
I know this is it. She was saying you cannot go over. She's going, listen, I'm going to go over because I feel like I'm being lied to.
No, you can't.
So she goes, and the pilot can hear all this chat about the nuts and what have you, and he's thinking, what's going on out there?
Yeah.
He opens the door. Yeah. She gets a glance in. Little monkey sat there with headphones.
Fucking bollocks. Well, that's the end of another podcast. Do register on rickygervais.com. We'll be able to email you and tell you what's happening when we finish this run of podcasts. We might have some downloads. At the moment, we're working on animating all the monkey newses. So look forward to that. The absolute bullshit that is Monkey News in all its glory. This was hosted by Positive Internet.
Great guys.
The great guys that host the world's #1 podcast. Cheerio from me, Ricky Gervais, and Steve Merchant.
Goodbye.
And Karl Pilkington.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
To quote the scholar and political theorist John Shah, the future is not a result of choices among alternative paths offered by the present, but a place that is created. Created first in the mind and will, created next in activity. The future is not some place we are going to, but one we are creating. From the schoolboy dreaming of big adventures to the scientist envisioning groundbreaking discoveries, we all care to imagine what the future will bring. Many people have attempted to predict the future, others to mould and control it. But what do we really know of the future? How does the past inform it? And what educated guesses can we make about the shape of things to come? To discuss these questions and more, I'm joined by Stephen Merchant, award-winning writer and graduate of the University of Warwick.
Hello.
And Karl Pilkington, fucking mong.
All right.
One prediction for the future, Karl, is from an academic study, what the world will be like in about 75 years from now. And a big prediction they're sort of sure of is that androgyny will rule. There'll be so little difference between men and women, apart from the biology, economically, socially. It won't matter who the biggest breadwinner is, that's already being phased out. If you're in a traditional heterosexual male-female couple, it'll be who stays home, who earns the most or whatever. It won't be governed by gender. And that's getting less and less anyway, as it is now. But soon you won't even need a female or a man in your life. You'll just need the egg or sperm. And you'll be able to have any coupling you want or not. Thoughts, Karl?
That isn't what I heard.
What were you heard?
I heard that.
So you read an academic study, Rick, but let's find out what Karl's been reading.
I heard we're all going to go ugly.
Different point, though, isn't it? That's different.
Not listening to a word Ricky said.
No, it's just if we all sort of go ugly, that will sort the population.
He gets an extra syllable in the word ugly. 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 Ugly.
So that just sorts the population out because people aren't sort of throwing it away. The frying centre.
Well, no, then that doesn't sort of... What do you mean?
Sorry, Rick, I don't understand what the hell he said there.
Are you saying, because everyone's ugly, everyone won't want to have it away more with the ugly person?
Yeah.
Okay, I still don't... You seem to understand what he's talking about, Rick. I'm still confused.
What he thinks is that if we're all ugly, then we still have this strange paradigm of beauty that won't exist, so we won't fancy anyone as much.
No, they'll still sort of fancy, because at the end of the day we're animals, aren't we?
Yeah.
So we'll still have it away, but not as much as they'd like to do now, because it's all based on looks.
Sorry, but what's this got to do with
what's this world like? Describe a typical town or country
It's
setting.
exactly right. Imagine London, you've still got the gherkin, you've still got the big wheel. It's just everyone's ugly.
Right, and they're doing all the same jobs, are they?
Everyone's still, and the world's got to carry on.
What do they look like? What's ugly?
Just imagine, have you ever seen anyone when you've just gone, look at that?
Yeah.
Right, well, like that.
Yeah, but hold on. It's ugly by today's standards, is it? So I throw forward to 75 years, you'll go, oh, everyone's what we call ugly. But what's happened to society? What do they think of everyone? They won't suddenly go in, isn't it annoying? We've got uglier. Because it's not like
because we have got better looking, haven't we? If I look back now at a school photo, you look at my class and you go, what was going on then? Well, you can't tell the difference between some of the girls and the blokes.
No, but that's not true.
It is, honestly.
That's
look at
fashion
it and
and nutrition. And I see that, when I see an old episode of Bullseye, I think, Jesus, the men look like rakes with no teeth and a moustache, and they're bald with their hair down like a paedophile, and he goes, now how old are you? And I go, 52. 52 goes, I'm 22. What?
Yeah, but that's more because of the sort of people that used to go on Bullseye. I mean, Paul Newman was never going to pop on Bullseye.
No, exactly.
Because he was actually a plumber from,
and then think of the people that he grew up with, some of them live in holes now.
Yeah.
So, I don't think the class of Pilkey 1982 doesn't really count. When he said, we've got better looking, I thought he was going to talk about cavemen, not his school photo. I mean, what happened there? There's been no evolution in that time. What are you talking about, Carl?
We've got better looking now, haven't we?
I wonder if he's confused it with the paradigms of beauty have changed, haven't they? So in the 50s, Marilyn Monroe was considered, very desirable, whereas that body shape on women, more recently has become less, there's lots of skinny women are seen as a paradigm of beauty. But, so that has maybe changed.
But we will change.
Yeah, we'll
probably not in
change
75 years.
I mentioned before about your little finger. There'll come a time when that'll go. I've watched it. I've kept an eye on what my little finger's doing. Sometimes it does nothing. It never helps out. All the others are grabbing all the stuff. That one just sort of sits there watching. So you could get rid of that, and I think that will go in evolution.
Think of the books he could have read when he was doing that, when he was monitoring his little finger.
I've been watching my little finger. But again, it's what you mean. 75 years is nothing. The only thing that changes in 75 years is trend, fashion, economics. The gene pool doesn't change unless there's been some sort of really weird mutation due to an external force. That I don't know. For things of science fiction where we all accidentally drank plutonium, we've got 3 eyes and 1 leg. It doesn't happen that fast. I've told you before, if you shaved a caveman, he's basically us. He's basically us.
Well, he's basically Carl.
Yeah. But, the little finger will be, let me tell you, millions of years.
I think what's more interesting about the future, Carl, is the fact that technology integrated with humans will be fascinating. So, for instance, they're talking, about the fact that in the future we may even be able to have chips in our head that allow us to access the internet or an equivalent of it directly, mentally.
Not French fries.
But hang on though, at what point are we us then?
Yeah, this is good.
Go on.
No, because if I can go on the internet at any time, then that's going to know more than me.
What does that mean?
Okay.
When I don't know an answer to something now, which is a lot of stuff.
Really?
Go on.
You watch University Challenge, and the stuff them kids on that know. I was just thinking, where have they stored that? Where's that gone in their head? How have they left that somewhere and it's just sat there waiting to be used? For me, if something doesn't get used within a time period, that's it.
But again,
it's forgotten about.
Okay, that's application and training and all that.
I think
But basically, you've got about the same hardware as those people.
Honest to God, I haven't. I know I haven't.
Your brain capacity
it's not the same as theirs. It's not the same.
Well, you might not be what's considered as academically intelligent as them, but again, an awful lot of it is, nurture more than nature. Your brain's good. Your brain is up there. Don't worry about that.
Well, it isn't. But listen, so what I'm saying is, if I want to know the answer to something, I go on the internet.
Yeah, right.
Now, if I've got a chip in my head with Google on it, I'm never going to use my head. I'll just be forever on Google.
I'm never going to use my head!
Well, I'm not, because what's the point?
Your head is, though?
Because I'm going to get it wrong. The chances are I'll get it wrong, so divert that. It's like saying...
No, you can't bypass the brain straight to Google. When you're having a chat socially, it's not like they're going, "Oh, Carl, how are you?" And you're not there. You're asleep and Google's talking. I think you'll find that they're...
No, only...
Do you want to see naked ladies? Come this way.
No, only for questions, though, that I don't know. But what I'm saying is, because I don't know a lot of the answers, I'll just say, forget it, leave it connected to Google.
So
then I'm not me anymore.
Well, what are you doing? Where's you, then?
I'm looking at Google.
So it is you?
No, but what Steve just said is, we'll have a chip in our head.
Right.
That can access the internet.
Right.
So why bother using?
But you're still the go-between. You, Carl, are the go-between between the internet and whatever your mouth says.
You can't beat the internet.
Yes,
but he knows everything.
No, you're accessing the information like it was part of your brain capacity, but you're still processing and using that information.
But hold on, where does Google get the information from in the first place?
One of them bright people on University Challenge has put it on.
Yeah, a human being.
So, but I'm going to get lazier. I don't watch the University Challenge and go, I want to be like them, I'm going to start reading books. I've accepted I'm never going to be like them. I can't play along. All I tend to do is I say to Suzanne, right, so every question now, I'm going to have egg as the answer. And I'm hoping that one day...
What an amazing game! What an amazing intellectual pursuit that is!
What a lucky lady.
What does Suzanne say to that?
Well, she just sees it works. She just plays along, and then I'm saying, oh, it might be this one, whatever.
I love that, because I remember once, it was about 5 years ago, Carl and Suzanne were around near Christmas, and me and Jane were there. We were playing different parlour games, like charades and that. And then one game, you have to do that thing where you have to beat, and you have to do animals, and you have to go. First one is A, then B. So you say aardvark. Next one goes beaver. Next one goes cat. It came to Carl. He panicked, and he went egg.
And he was on egg. So you're sat there watching University Challenge, and on a good night, it's, well-known jeweller of Fabergé's, well-known for his jewel-encrusted egg. Humpty Dumpty is commonly pictured as a big egg. Sometimes
if you keep saying the same thing, eventually, it's like a broken watch.
Carl Pilkington's head looks like hay.
Yeah.
I've just got more chance of getting it right.
Sure.
But also, he told me when he plays University Challenge, he said he's given up ever trying to get an answer. So now he tries to guess who's going to answer the question.
Another great game! Suzanne's roped in on! Unbelievable!
How do you do with that?
I'm normally alright on that.
There's got to be something else.
There's another evolution thing though. When you watch brainy people on that, or wearing glasses.
Yeah.
What does that tell you? We are reading too much. We're wearing the eyes out. And that you can't argue with that. Because the evidence is there. Most people on University Challenge, which is a quiz show if people don't have that in the country, it's the brainiest quiz of all time, and to be honest, I don't know why they don't go on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire or something, because they'll get a better prize than what do they win on University Challenge?
Because they'll be stitched up by a question of who's in Hollyoaks. It will be
But that's the snobbery as well.
It'll be what character does Andy Lincoln play in this life, and they won't get it, and you'll go egg, and you'll be correct.
but that's the thing, isn't it? This snobbery on braininess, the way that if you're a specialist in don't know, what's something...
Well, no, don't happen. Go on. Finish. You've started a conversation. You're halfway through a sentence. You've got a point.
You can't bail out now.
Okay.
Say if you're a specialist in
Go on.
Latin tattoos.
What Latin tattoos? I didn't know you wanted something so specific.
So that's a tattoo you have on your arm with Cogito ergo sum underneath, or is it a tattoo?
Well, it's the only reason Latin's still alive, isn't it?
Right.
Tattooists. So you go on Mastermind.
Yeah.
And people will go, oh, he's clever. You got 40 correct in 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Now, if you go on and say any questions about Coronation Street between 1990 and 92, people go, oh, he's a bit of a knob. Because there's a snobbery to education.
Yes, there is.
But a question is still a question, isn't it?
Well, to a certain degree, although, yeah, that's fine. But there's no application to knowing who played Edith Sharples, whereas presumably there is something useful in
well, not perhaps Latin tattoos, because
none of us
understand exactly what that is. But if you have knowledge of astrophysics, obviously that's going to be, as Ricky says, it's going to take more application to become an expert on that than watching Coronation Street twice a week.
But it's still information that you've had to learn.
You've not learned it, though. You've just sat down in front of the telly and it's just piped into your brain very directly and very easily and enjoyably. Let's say the people working on that microchip that one day you'll have in your brain, are they not doing something more interesting and valuable for society than the Coronation Street fella?
No, because Coronation Street that fella who knows a lot about it. At least he's enjoying his time watching that.
Oh, I'm not saying he's not enjoying it.
So he's enjoying it, but a brain in a jar can be enjoying it if it doesn't know it's a brain in a jar.
Right. So what are you asking me?
But we were talking...
Didn't seem a difficult point what we were saying.
What I mean is...
Okay, one more go. What do you mean?
The chip in the brain isn't part of filling your head with stuff, the journey of filling it with that stuff.
What do you mean?
Whereas say if you had a baby, the baby pops out, it cries a bit, you go, right, what do you want your baby to be interested in? And you say, I want it to be a plumber. You go, right, when it's 2, we're going to stick a plumber chip in its head.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not right, is it?
No. I don't know why you chose plumber either.
Well, we still need plumbing.
Yeah, I know we do, but...
It's odd that they would have chosen, but they've got such kind of small ambitions for their
It's what his granddad did, and they want the sort of the thing to go through the business. They own a plumbing business. They want the baby to carry on the business. They
want the baby to be able to plumb.
It goes on now where parents force the kids into riding horses. And you see the kid without the parents about, and you go, do you like horses? And they go, oh, not really, being forced to get an horse. Can't stand it.
Yeah.
And people would go, that's wrong. The kid should have the freedom to decide if he wants to get on a horse or not.
That's right, yeah.
Well, what about this chip in the head?
But you've made this up.
You've made the scenario up.
They're not putting chips in babies' heads.
I thought you said they were.
No,
No, I said that.
I think Steve's right, and I don't know, I haven't read it, but I imagine he's saying it's the next step in convenience with technology and an interface between a human and a research tool or fun. Computers went from being the size of a room to a thing you can wear on your watch. So the next step may be, you won't forget your palm top, you won't forget your iPod, you won't forget your laptop. It's in there, it's an interface.
I know, but it makes us lazy.
But you straight away thought that now that it went to some sort of weird laboratory where it's all white and there's just a doctor and everyone's in a silver suit, right? And they go, we're removing the self. We're removing the self and putting in chip. You are now computer boy.
Yeah,
but I watch Coronation Street. Well, you won't in a few seconds. But I hate Coronation Street, me.
Carl, it's not a question of. It's not that Google is now Carl. It looks like Carl, but it's just spanning, little pop-ups about offers you can buy and cheap holidays here and there.
He's not the man I'm at.
Right, look at it like this.
Jesus.
Look, I see it all the time now.
Go on.
You go, where are you going, to someone? And they go, I'm going to Dorset.
Right.
All right, what road are you taking? Don't know, I'll just pop on the sat-nav. Now, that's a start, isn't it?
Okay. Let's act that out with me, okay?
I'm going away for the weekend, Carl.
Are you?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Dorset.
Oh, yeah. How are you getting there?
Car.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, which way are you going?
Don't know. What do you want to know?
Oh, just making a friendly chat. Just, I'm interested in geography. Which way are you going?
Well, I don't know really. I've got a sat nav in my car, and I'm getting there. And what do you know? What?
Easy. Huh?
Well, I'm not a pigeon. I don't.
Well, you got an A to Z.
Well, yeah. It was on a computer. The A to Z. What's the difference between looking at an A to Z and
easy, no?
Not really. No. Why? Why is it any different that I've got it computerized so I can go along? A to Z's a bit dangerous, isn't it? It's a bit. Don't you go to A to Z when you're driving along?
Ty, who are you talking to? Because we need to hit the road. We need to get going.
Well, it's this fucking idiot who wants to know what road I'm taking. It was a fucking boring thing to ask.
Sorry, who is this twat? Because we really got to go.
He's a fucking dickhead. I think he's an A to Z salesman by the door. I mean,
just tell him we're using the sat nav because it's the quickest, most efficient way of doing it.
It's the quickest, most efficient way of doing it.
No, but look what's happened.
Who the fuck are you?
Would Columbus found America if he had a sat nav?
Yes!
No, he wouldn't.
He didn't put in America and he would have taken it to America.
He only found it because he got lost. Now, if everybody just
hold on. How would an undiscovered country be on a sat nav?
No.
Go on.
But I just
What's the difference between the sat nav and the map in that regard?
Because I've found some lovely little cafes on roads I've never been on.
Well, I've instantly gone from finding a continent to a little cafe.
I love that.
Little greasy.
I am off to discover the unknown world. Where are you going? Well, I don't know yet. It's the unknown world. What are you taking? Just a boat, not all lazy swim, you cunt. I love the fact that he's so Luddite now, he's annoyed at the sat-nav. I mean, you'd have probably given Columbus a hard time. Oh, got a compass. Don't you know where north is, you twat?
I just think there's something in being lost. I never feel lost. I just think, I've had a diversion. Because you find new things. I'm forever going down.
Suzanne's asking the French peasant where
I just think, Columbus.
All right, what's the most interesting thing you found when lost?
Like I say, I found a shop that was like a fancy dress shop.
Amazing.
Do you need the fancy dress stuff?
Dressed up as Columbus and went and bought a sat-nav. Went to Dorset for the weekend.
You never go out. Why do you need a fancy dress shop? That sounds like the one thing you'd hate is fancy dress.
Yeah, but I like looking at they had like a space helmet in there.
Right, so you found a fancy dress shop. Where are you supposed to be going that you had time to get sidetracked and go in?
I think I was going to a meeting.
Amazing, that's the last time.
You want to get lost?
You don't want to get lost, do you?
Because I always give myself loads of time because I get lost a lot. I always give myself.
Get a sat nav.
No, I'm just saying that's how you find little treats along the way. And next time you pass it, or next time someone says, "Do you know where the fancy dress shop is?" You can go, "Yeah, I do."
You have no idea because I was lost. I didn't know where it was.
No.
Normally,
I'm not going to tell you, lazy cunt. Have you got an A to Z? Oh, that's harsh.
Yeah, find it yourself, you lazy twat.
Well, I might get lost. Good. You might find another one.
It just goes back to the chip thing in the head. I think you've got to learn along the way. We can't get lazy. We can't have chips in the head knowing how to plumb. That's what it's all about, isn't it? And making mistakes. If you make a mistake, I've done some wiring, got a little shock. Won't happen again.
It will. I've seen that experiment with you before.
So,
what have you learned? You keep going on about all this learning. What have you learned?
What have you learned? Okay, sum up mankind's foray into the future. I want this. This will be the introduction to a book about the future that will then be read in 100 years' time and go, Karl Pilkington was the most prophetic genius that's ever walked the earth. These are his words from 2010.
Just some predictions.
Just sum it up. I believe. Start off with. I, Karl Pilkington, believe that mankind in the future will. Okay, start off with that sentence.
Just have like a top 5.
Well, no, or just
predictions.
Just predictions.
Yeah, okay. So and then a little thing to remember. And remember ye this. So I, Karl Pilkington, predict that in the future mankind will. Start off with that. Start off with that sentence. I've given you that one.
All right, I'm Karl. And the future.
He's already gone off-road.
It's a scary place. But the future's got to happen. Right? There's no getting away from that.
Yep. Okay, your predictions are...
Well, we're all...
It's not a soundbite.
Keep going.
I'm going to
Space.
This is in a book. I've got to think about. I don't want to get it
Think, okay. Think first. Think, and then say it. Okay. Starting from now, these words of wisdom will be inscribed on the wall of a museum one day. Proceed.
Wall of a lavatory one.
I think trousers are going to be stopped being made. Just because you see kids now, they've got the pants around their ankles. They're going further and further down. So I think that's evolution, just getting rid of the trouser.
Right.
It's just dropping naturally.
That's the evolution of the trouser because it's dropping incrementally down the arse.
Kids' underpants, so they're just dropping.
Yeah.
I think they'll get to a point when they just don't bother wearing them anymore.
Right.
Prediction 1.
Okay,
That's an amazing one.
They'll stop making trousers in the future.
Okay. We're going to get weaker. That's already happened. They used to say, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Now they say eat 5 fruits.
Right.
So we've definitely, that's evidence. You can't argue with that. I'll probably put that first because the guy's right. What's number 2? So swap that round.
Okay, that's number 1.
Give him the pants second.
Yep.
I'm gonna die.
Okay,
They
number
used
3.
to say, and I'm gonna die, keep the doctor away. They used to say.
They used to say, pull your trousers up. Now they're saying, pull them down, you can.
Number 3.
Right, number 3. Oh, the scholars are now waiting with bated breath when they find this old scroll, and they go, ooh, what can number 3 be?
I reckon we'll blend all our food. No, because they do.
We're gonna make a point about race. I never thought we'll blend all
like they do for babies, you mean?
I just think when you think about all the stuff we eat now, cavemen chewing on big lumps of meat.
Yeah.
We had wisdom teeth.
Yep.
Now they say, take them out, you're not using them.
Yep.
Why not using them? Because your food's soft.
Yep.
Sorbet.
Yep.
Soups.
Yeah.
Everything's softer,
Just
isn't it? When you
those
get an
two,
avocado, you say, is it soft? Everyone's squeezing the food before they buy it.
Yeah.
No one wants anything tough.
Yeah.
So I think chewing is a sort of thing of the past. We haven't got the time to chew. Everyone's like, hurry up, eat that. You don't have to go out for dinner with Ricky. He's like, hurry up. Right, I'm still eating it.
Well, he does blend his food, I think. Okay, so blending food, great.
I reckon. What else do we do now? So I've done teeth, done trousers. I've come up with this idea. These sort of like glasses, but you can live wherever you want to live.
What do you mean?
Everything that's real, you're not looking at that anymore. This is really the future. I'd put this at number 10. This is like...
We're only doing 5, fuck me.
So what you mean is that you look through the glasses and instead of seeing what the real world, you see a tropical
what
paradise.
You want to see. So if you're a young kid and you like the idea of living in the urban ghetto, with all graffiti on the walls and that, you can see that.
Yeah, but hold on, are you walking around? Because you'll be bumping into stuff, won't you?
No.
Why not?
No, what you mean is that the stuff that's there in the real world is being digitally reimagined in your glasses. So what was a nice country lane is suddenly now an urban ghetto.
It's got loads of graffiti on it.
Sure.
Absolutely mental, pointless, would never work. Absolutely one of the maddest things you've ever said.
Really weird, that one.
Yeah.
It could be done. I reckon it could be easily done.
Why would it be? Okay, and that last one, that's number 4. That's a load of bollocks. So what's number 5?
There'll be more letters in the alphabet.
Why?
Because we're running out of words now, aren't we?
No, we're not running out of words.
No, we are. We are definitely running out of words.
Just using the letters we've already got and making new words.
No, but we haven't got enough now.
Of course we have. Have you any idea? You could have a word with 9 L's before you run out.
Yeah, and they do in Wales and what have you. That's because their alphabet is shorter than ours. they've only got something like 24 letters over there.
Right.
But they go mental with the L. now, what we do is, we've got 26 letters, but we are now struggling.
We're not struggling at all.
We are.
We're not. No, it's a stupid...
Boswallocks in shampoo. Now there's a word where they've gone, well, we've invented something here. We've got something we're putting in shampoo.
Boswallocks?
Boswallocks.
You just made that up?
No, they go. I knew with Boswallocks and ceramide R. Yeah, but that's a new word because they have to. They come with a new word.
But it's a terrible word.
Why?
Boswallocks.
It's another word. Is that real?
Remember, that's a real word.
Yeah.
Now this is what I'm saying. So years ago, when they came up with all the sensible ingredients,
Go on.
sodium. That sounds all right.
He likes sodium. He doesn't like Boswallocks.
Because it sounds like something in it, like an ingredient.
Well, yeah, but that's because you're used to it.
Is this a load of Boswallocks? Are you winding me up?
No, it's real.
It's real. And that's because 26 letters, we've wasted them. Years ago we went mental with the, pneumonia, sticking a P on it. And there's loads of words where you go, what's that letter doing in there? Whereas now, they can't do that. They've gone, whoa, pull that back, why is that letter there? And now you've got stuff like abbreviations and stuff.
Yeah.
Let's not waste letters. Let's just control it a little bit. Cars are called things like, GTI or something, because they're going, well, I can't think of a word to call this. So they're giving them letters. Think of a word now. Think of a word that hasn't been made up.
What do you mean?
Well, tell me a word that hasn't been made up.
All words have been made up.
No, one that hasn't. That could be you. Say if I invent something now to put in shampoo, what can I call it? Quick.
Cranberry.
No, it's too close to that. No, we can't get that past the advertising person.
Scrimpton.
Scrimpton.
Yeah.
So Ricky, 2 goes and you accepted his second one.
Well, I think we've sorted out the future.
Wow. Since, obviously, the days of Nostradamus, there's been many people who've tried to foresee the future. Karl, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but there's endless, predictions. Apparently there are other planets that may collide with ours. There's some scientific basis on this. And obviously, I don't know if you've seen the posters for that recent film, 2012. Well, that's based on this notion of some kind of Mayan calendar, which supposedly predicts the end of the world as being 2012. But if you knew with certainty that today was the end of the world, how would you spend that final day? I mean, this seems weird to me, but I think I'd like to experience a lot of the extremes of existence. So, for instance, I've always wanted to smash up a bar. Do you know what I mean? It seems strange, but I've always wanted the exhilaration of just smashing all those bottles, like you see in a film.
But would you enjoy it as much, knowing that you're going to die in 8 hours?
I don't know, I suppose it's the sense of abandon, I mean, maybe I'd murder a person.
Wow.
Just say, I don't know, but I think I'd probably go mental. Because I've always been a very reserved person, I've never got into a fight, never caused a rumpus.
Yeah, but that's a worrying thought because we don't have to have the end of the world for it to be the end of your world, because a lot of people know that they're terminally ill, so they don't go around smashing up bars and killing people.
But I suppose I know there'll be no repercussions ultimately, because the next day everyone's gone, so there's not going to be mourning families.
But then how dare you deprive that person of his last 8 hours or 10 hours of life?
I don't care, because it's the last day on Earth.
Well,
so
that's true.
I know the moral guilt that I'll feel is over in a few hours.
Morality isn't relative just to repercussion, is it? Because
no, but the point is
you do things without repercussion. But often people say, what would you do if you never got caught, or would you do it if there is repercussions for that person, as grave as they might be, just because you feel that it's no big deal either way, that they're only going to live another 8 hours, they might feel differently. And you're saying, well, you won't care because you won't be around. But then, why do people care about their loved ones when they won't be around? Why do people get a will ready?
Because my point is that they know that those people will continue to live for an indeterminate amount of time.
So you do care about the other person's
feelings? Of course I do. Of course I do. But my point is, knowing that everyone is going to be wiped off the face of the earth the following day, all of those repercussions are no longer quite the same.
I'd find it hard to divorce myself from my morality that's ingrained just because it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, I honestly, to me, it seems that we're approaching just the end of all things, and so I'm saying that there's something about the fact that we're all going to end that somehow seems very liberating.
What would you do?
I've always wanted to kick a duck up the arse.
Now, obviously the future is relative. Us talking now, the future is one thing, the past is another. But to someone in the past, we are in the future. So, Karl, if you could go back into any era, okay, you are what you are now, you are you as you sit there now, your age, with all your memories and all your input and all your advantages on ages gone by and all your advantages over people gone by, where would you go, what would you do? Don't worry about ramifications, like if you squash a butterfly you come back here and we're all speaking a different language and...
Yeah, but I don't believe all that.
Of course you should.
They should have picked something better than a butterfly. The thing about if you kill a butterfly, there's a volcano somewhere.
Right.
There.
Okay, what did that noise mean?
It's just passing the buck, isn't it? It's kind of like blaming a butterfly. Like, they only live about a day, so you blame it and it's dead anyway and there's no evidence left. It's a stupid argument.
Is that the theory? Is that the theory that you're blaming a butterfly for a volcano? I'm not sure that's it, is it?
Yeah, it wafts its wings.
When it wafts, right, when a butterfly wafts, if you stop the waffery, then the whole world has changed, because there was no waft on a certain day, okay? But that means that everything's part of the causal web. It's a model for determinism. So things do, yeah, of course things have an effect on everything else.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's a bad example, the butterfly doing its wings.
Well, no.
Something...
That butterfly might have flown in through a car window and frightened someone, and they crashed.
He was a wasp.
Why is that preferable?
Because you don't panic. I've been in a car when there's a wasp knocking about. It's terrifying. I can see how that could cause a disaster. Not a butterfly, you just go open the other window.
I love that you won him over to that theory now, just by substituting a butterfly and a wasp. You think back to perhaps when you were a teenager or even before when you were growing up. You had visions, I suppose, of your own personal future and how that would play out, how you could change the way you lived your life in order to affect the future. I mean, I'm very lucky in some regards in that one of my ambitions was always to be involved with comedy. Yeah. And I was very excited about that, and I was lucky that I've managed to achieve that. A lot of people don't even know what they want from their future.
Well, the other thing is that when you dream of where you'll be in 20 years' time, you don't change the future. You don't change the buildings, and you just think of yourself sort of richer, having a happier life.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So,
and also, I was always slightly more handsome in the future. Like I kept imagining I would grow a little more handsome. People kept saying, my grandmother would keep telling me, you'll fill out. When you fill out a bit. She was obsessed with me filling out. This is why she would feed me endlessly. The idea that somehow if I was less gangly.
Yeah, it worked with me though.
Yeah, I
filled out, yeah. It's funny because I still forget what I look like now in the present. Yeah. In my head, I still look like I used to look. Then I catch a little glimpse of myself in the shop window and go, who's that foul? Oh. No. You know what I mean? I'm so much better.
But you did have you've journeyed a long way. I mean, you, good-looking lad, and you are, I mean, it's preposterous. I mean, everyone I work with or meet who's seen a picture of you as a teenager doesn't understand it. I mean, I pretty much look the same, you know what I mean? I haven't changed much. I'm still a constant disappointment to myself in a way, you know. And when I put on a tuxedo, that's the best I'm ever going to look, and I don't look like James Bond. Yeah. Whereas you at least had a moment where you looked all right. I mean, honestly, it's Jane I feel sorry for. Because I mean, she did not sign up for this.
Well, we've all changed.
I've seen pictures of her in the past. She ain't changed much.
No, I don't mean that. I mean, we've all changed. We all changed. Karl used to have hair.
Yeah, but you by your own admission that I had it for long. You didn't have it hair for long, did you?
No, it wasn't. I didn't want to hang around my hair. It was never. I told you, it didn't feel needed, so it went. I never did anything with it. It was hair of a Chinaman, wasn't it? Even the hairdresser said. He said, you can do nothing with this. So what do you mean? He said, it's just it's sort of Lindsay.
Lindsay!
Sorry, was that's a
limp or flimsy? I reckon.
Well, no, that Limsy is a Chinaman that gave his name to the limp hair of the Chinese.
So you think your hair bailed on you because it was not getting treated well enough?
I think that's true. I think that's how it works. But yeah, I know what you mean. I sort of think about if I've changed and that, but I don't think I have that much. I still have the same sort of thoughts. I like olives now, which I didn't like probably 3 years ago. Right. But you can, if you eat 4 in a row, you get a taste for them. And I thought, go on, then I'll have 5. And I thought, yeah, they're all right, these. So that's different. But other than that, I mean, these.
So what were your dreams and ambitions when you were young?
No, how many?
Right.
It was kind of
5 years old. What do you want to be? What was your thoughts of the future?
I didn't worry. I'm 5 years old. You're not worrying about working that.
10. What's your hopes and fears of all these years I met in thee tonight?
I wasn't worrying about work till about 13, 14. Just thinking, right, you know, people who were new had left school. They weren't getting work. And I was thinking, I don't want to be like that. That's when I did boxing. You know, I could have gone down that route. Got into boxing, didn't I?
How many fights do you have?
Don't know, about 3 or 4.
How old is it? When does brain damage kick in?
I guess it can. I guess it can happen almost instantly. I mean, that must be part of it.
Did you really get a bad beating on one of those fights?
Yeah, Leroy gave us a right good clackering.
Clackering. Yeah, the thing is, your jab was a bit limsy, but Leroy's was clackering.
Then there was the dancing.
I don't remember this. What breakdancing?
Well, I did that. I did a bit of body popping.
Yeah. But did you ever really think that you might do this in the future?
You never know, do you?
But did you, at the time, do you remember thinking, I wouldn't mind doing this professionally?
I must have thought that for me to go, well, let's try and join, you know, Twiggy's dance club and all that. And my mum and dad always sort of, you know, if you want to give it a go, give it a go. With the boxing, you know, my dad was saying, right, I'll get you the proper shoes and that, and my mum was like, don't bother getting in them yet. Let's see if he sticks at it for like 4 months, because they were about 30 quid.
Let him carry on in my furry slippers.
Then with the dancing, it was the same thing. I said, I need some leg warmers and that. And
these tights are just as good. Come on.
No, my dad,
what your nan's tights?
My dad gave me like he cut like the sleeves off a shirt.
Amazing.
And that were your leg warmers.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But it's funny when you're a kid, it don't bother you.
But surely cut them off a jumper.
No, I don't know why. I know I looked down because I had cuffs and leg warmers.
That's amazing!
But when you're a kid, you roll them up.
It must have looked Lancelot and Bowen doing a handstand.
But then, you know, that didn't last long, and then my dad, you know, I was getting older now, and he's like...
Dad needed his shirt back for a wedding.
Yeah, as long as he didn't take his jacket off, it was fine.
Yeah. Dad, I'm losing my hat, I need a hat. Dad, I don't need a bloody hat. Pop my pants on, Fed.
But then you've got to make sure you try and get a job, and school was sort of saying...
So 15 now.
But hang on, why did you stop going down Twiggy's?
Well, it was shut, wasn't it?
Amazing.
Oh, it closed down?
It closed down. It had a load of toilet rolls in there. It had been turned into like a storage unit. I've never really had like a dream. I've just bumbled along. Because, like I've said, it's that thing of
Clacker,
sort of...
Limsy. It's like, call my fucking bluff.
There's no point sort of wishing for too much, because if you don't get it, you'll be fed up. So it's better just to sort of go, well, let's see what's around the corner. This is what I've said to you about a sat-nav system.
Right.
Yeah. It's the same thing. Yeah, sure, after sat-nav, type in where you want to go, and it'll take you straight there. But what I say is, use the back streets. Have a look around, turn off, don't go straight ahead, turn right. The little dead ends.
Yeah,
have a look.
where you might get mugged.
Have a look.
Don't go down the dead ends.
Why not?
You've got to reverse back out.
There's nothing there. Dead end.
No, but have a look.
Well, there's nothing there, it's dead end.
What's the road doing there then?
Well, it's a dead end.
Yeah, but there must be something down there.
There's nothing, it's dead, it's just ends.
Just a wall.
Right, so it's not a problem. Reverse.
Well, don't go down in the first place if you know it's a dead end. Don't tell people to go down the dead end, they've got to reverse out. Difficult.
Well, I'd say just have a look. You see, that's the difference between me and you. I'd have a look down the dead end.
It's dead end, no, don't worry, it's
What's
dead
down
end.
there?
There's nothing, mate, dead end.
Rubbish?
Yeah, no, nothing. Dead
Nothing
end.
at all?
Yeah, no point going there, dead end.
Right, so I'll go, well, I'll just have a look for myself because I don't believe you.
Okay, well, go on then.
Right, I'll have a look.
Yeah.
Right, look at this I've found.
What have you found?
box of money that you didn't know about. All I'm saying is it could be
He has
anything.
still got the brain of a 10-year-old, hasn't he? He's still got the brain of a 10-year-old.
I'm just... set your stall out.
Right. So where's the store? Where are you setting the store? Not there,
Because there's no through traffic.
thoroughfare. Yeah, you want to be on a sort of public highway. Where are you setting the stall out? What are you selling? What are you selling?
Well, this is what I'm saying to you.
What are you selling
I'm
first?
selling a mixture of stuff.
What? Like what?
All sorts.
What have you bought it with? A bag of money you found in the dead end?
Leg warmers.
So you got new leg warmers with. Do you want cufflinks for them? What? Do you want cufflinks for them leg warmers? Well, now why would I do that? Well, you got to fucking look smart, ain't you? You can't.
So you're selling, what are you selling?
So you set your stall out.
Yeah.
Right.
Now,
Yes.
isn't it dangerous to sell all the same product in that shop?
Right.
Okay,
Don't
where's
know what you're talking
the
about.
analogy going? This is a metaphor. It's a metaphor.
Yeah.
Or similes.
What are you selling? What are you selling first? Bang. 2, 3, 4.
No, but
Quick,
this is
it's
what
the
I'm saying
apprentice.
to you. This is what I'm saying
Go
to
on.
you, though. I
Right.
just said to you,
Yeah.
well, I don't know what you wanted to do. You haven't told me. But
Right.
I'm
Do
saying...
you want me to tell you what I want to do when I wanted to be... Well, at 5 years old, I wanted to own a sweet shop until my mum said, you've got to buy the sweets first. Right. From 10, I wanted to be like a scientist. 15, a vet kicked in.
But at some point you jettisoned all of that to try and pursue a pop career.
20, I wanted to be a pop star. 25, I thought I'd better get a job.
Well,
At 30, I did.
me saying turn off the main road and do a right,
Whip it!
but that's how it gets about. It's in the air like a kite.
Yeah.
It's just floating about.
I've seen one, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying about weirdness. The way all that goes on. This is what I can't get my head around.
You have got your head round.
But do they get ill then?
It's just, for those listening at home, he has just bumped his head against the microphone.
Trying to mate with it because it's perfectly round, this microphone.
No, but when I was, like, this is what I'm saying, when I was in hospital and stuff, you do think about how others live, because insects don't have operations. Are they built better than us to survive in this world?
The trap you seem to fall into again and again and again is you cannot conceive of the fact that insects and animals do not have consciousness and personality and communication. They do not function the way that humans do. You've seen so many Disney cartoons, you believe them now to have a life and wear bowler hats and go to work. But just in the same way that the cavemen didn't have Flintstone-type cars and have a little house, you can't seem to understand that animals don't work in that way.
But what I mean is you're saying that no animals or insects know anything, yet when you see them things on nature programmes where a load of ants are having a walk, there's always one at the front who's leading it all. So one of them's got to know
first. Or there are leaders in.
Yeah, but the other ants are going follow him.
No, they're not. They're not. They're not vocalising that in any sense
No,
that
they're
you
not saying
understand it.
follow him, but they sort of look as if to sort of say, I'm going this way. Without
cognitive
speaking.
reasoning.
It's not made a conscious decision to act in that way.
Yeah, but this is when
if a raindrop falls on a bird's beak and it moves away because instinctively it's hardwired to be wary of things which drop on its beak in case it's dangerous. It's not thinking, oh crumbs, I better get out of the way. It just does it because it's somehow hardwired into it to act that way. But it doesn't stop for a moment and think, which we don't really, except we then are able to rationalise our fears and our actions.
Well, I've been watching birds more than insects recently.
Oh, okay, you've moved on from
in the last week, just because I've sort of looked at the ant and the bee and that. And what I've found with pigeons is they've got wings, yet they walk a lot.
I'd love that to be a thesis where he got like a £500,000 grant from a university, and I said, well, Pilkington seems to, he's done ants and he's done bees, he's followed ants. Apparently they're not doing anything, some of them are lazy. We are granting him another £500,000. He's been working on it for a year. Please welcome Karl Pilkington.
Karl, what have you found?
Well, even though pigeons have wings, they walk a lot.
No, but even in times of danger, one was crossing the road and a car was coming, and you'd think that his head would say, let's start flying. Yet he just walked faster.
Well,
what's he doing?
It was doing stuff, wasn't it? It saved a bit of energy. It takes a lot to take off, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's either that or you're going to get crushed.
But it didn't get crushed, did it?
No, I don't think it did. No.
There you go, they knew what he was doing, didn't it?
Yeah, it just annoyed me. That's all. It's got a power, and it's not
Power. They're all superpower, these animals.
But that's why he thinks of the stick insect as like that. He mentioned earlier, that's its power, that's its skill. Like Spider-Man was bitten by a radioactive spider and now he can solve crimes and swing with webbage, using his webbage. Whereas, stick insects it's not a superpower.
But say if everything was at the same size as us, what would be the best thing to be? Say like a tarantula.
Yeah.
And a tiger. What would happen there?
A 15-stone tiger versus a 15-stone tarantula.
Yeah.
Well, I'd imagine the 15-stone tarantula.
Right, so it's just weird that, isn't it? It's a good job that they're small. Yet things are getting bigger because we're messing with the world.
Well, it's a ridiculous thing to say, isn't it? Because what would it eat? 15 stone. Well, it wouldn't happen anyway, because insects and arachnids and just invertebrate arthropods in general, they have a critical mass because they haven't got lungs. They breathe through things in their cycle, spiracles, and if it gets too big, the surface to volume ratio isn't big enough to allow it enough oxygen. So the biggest you'll find is like a foot-long beetle or somewhat weird.
It's big though, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's about as big as they get. So I wouldn't worry about it.
Again, based on nothing, he queries you.
And also, it's not a case that one that'll be born too big and can't breathe. It won't happen. That's why they're only that big, because...
But it's like fish, isn't it? How they say about a goldfish.
Yeah.
That thing about a woman who went on holiday and stuck it in a bath. She came back, it was 7 foot.
Right, that didn't happen.
No, that's a well-known thing about
No, it's not a
goldfish.
well-known thing. What? I'll tell you why. Because a fish will only grow to its surroundings anyway. So...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You have to put it in a bigger tank.
Yeah, in a bath.
No, 7-foot fish in a bath, it just fit the bath exactly, did it?
When she got back off holiday...
Don't talk shit. What was it eating? What was it eating?
How long was she gone for? 2 million years?
Yeah. She went to Mars and back.
Yeah. It's just that fish are weird, aren't they?
Well, no, that's a bollocks story. Once again,
No,
I don't know where you've heard it or read it.
It's a well-known story.
A 7-foot goldfish in your bath.
But, no, fish are weird.
Ted, you're not going to believe this. Come up here.
Well, how many fish do you see that have naturally died? That's the weird thing.
What do you mean?
Just ping-ponging around these ideas in your mind.
You just never see fish sort of just floating about in the water and you go, oh, died of old age. It's always been caught by a man or a shark's at it. You don't just see dead fish washed up, do you? When you think of the amount of fish... No, when you think of the amount of fish that are in the sea, there's loads of them, and yet you never...
Because they're eaten straight away.
That's what I'm saying, though. Are they eaten when they're dead? Or are they just being eaten?
Well, most things like that don't die of old age.
Yeah, that's weird though, isn't it?
Well, no, because it's a jungle out there.
Yeah, no, that's why I said I wouldn't want to live in the sea. Because you've got to...
Are you sure you're not on morphine as we speak?
No, but in the sea, you've got to be constantly sort of alert, haven't you?
Yeah, but that's true of all animals.
No, worse than the sea. The sea is like full of... you've got an enemy around every rock.
I love it! And it was like a warning to crabs and young squid. It's like the policeman that comes into your school. Yeah. What advice would you give... Okay then, what advice would you give...
Some plankton.
Now, what advice would you give a 2-week-old octopus?
And what am I? Am I an octopus?
Well, you're you. We've sort of set it up that it can understand you with some sort of... one of your inventions to talk to the animals. One of your brilliant inventions is just a watch you strap on its tentacle and it can understand human talk. I'm sure you'll come up with that one day. What do you say to it? What would you say to an octopus, a young octopus, who wants to set out by himself in the sea?
Stay close to the rocks. And just let it know about the thing about it can get into a small space. You know, if you look at an hole, don't go, oh, I can't get in there. And sort of squash it and show itself. I can roll it into a ball and sort of say, look at that. Is that hurting?
I love the fact that the drugs make no difference. It's like there's no difference. Oh, God.
Because that's the only thing that's got in it, it's boneless. So
that's its special power.
That's what it can do. You can roll it up, and as long as it knows that. But that's the problem with a lot of powers, isn't it? That's the same thing about how people say don't have a go at bees because they're not like wasps. They don't sting you because once they sting you, they die. That doesn't know that, does it?
It's also not true, but yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't know, so it's not like the bees going around going, I'm not going to sting you because I'll die if I do.
What's your point there? I don't understand.
I'm just saying...
We shouldn't dislike bees.
Well, how do these creatures know what to do?
Instinct.
I suppose it's like that story you told me about the scorpion, isn't it? It's that, innit?
What, the scorpion and the frog?
Yeah.
What, the fable?
Yeah. What was it? It was a frog.
The scorpion needed to get across a river, and it said to a frog, can you give me a lift? And the frog said, well, no, of course not, because you'll sting me, you're a scorpion. And he goes, well, no, why would I do that? If I sting you and I'm in the water and you drown, I drown. And the frog went, good point. So the frog gives him a piggyback, going across the river, halfway across, the scorpion stings the frog, and the frog's dying. And the frog's going, no, I'm going to die, and you're going to die. So why did you do that? And the scorpion said, because I'm a scorpion. And what do you think that was meant to point out?
Just sort of be careful who you help.
No. It's meant to point out that you are what you are. You are your nature.
No, but it's also that thing of like...
I'm telling you, it's nothing to do with
if you're driving and someone's hitchhiking, don't pick them up because...
No, it's nothing to do with the mentality or the reasoning or the anything to do with the frog at all. The point of it.
Well, I don't know. I think Aesop was thinking a lot about the hitchhiking problem.
It wouldn't happen. That's the problem with a lot of them fables. They're putting animals together that wouldn't meet.
Oh, whereas insects go around shagging leaves.
Well, insects are with the leaves, whereas I don't know where a scorpion is knocking around with a frog. I mean, there's that weird one I remember watching. I remember hearing something about this lizard that sort of gets pally with the scorpions, even though they're not mates, they don't get on. But they've kind of got this agreement that the scorpion can live in their house if they guard it. And there's the local people used to stick their hands down these holes and get the lizards to make slippers out of them. And the lizards were getting sick of this. And I think somehow something happened where the lizards thought, look, enough's enough. We'll let you sleep in our den if you stand by the door. So the scorpion used to stand by the door and stay awake at night whilst the lizard's having a kip. Fella comes along wanting to make some new slippers, puts his hand down the hole, scorpion gets him. Now that's what's weird with that two enemies have worked together.
It's called a symbiotic relationship. But at no point did they sit down and go, right, what are we going to do? I'll tell you what, I'll give you shelter. You give me that sling in case there's a fella wants to make slippers. Because all this happened way before people were making slippers.
But isn't it weird though? Because there's nothing that happens like that in people, is there?
Of course there is.
What, like that, where you don't get on but you work with them?
Of course there is.
What?
Loads of business relationships. What do you mean?
No, but normally you stay... What I mean is you stay away if someone's being a bit weird.
There are loads of examples where you might go, well, I hate to do it, but my only option is to go with X, Y and Z.
But what I'm saying is, though, let me just finish.
Go on.
I live in an area where, I sort of know a lot of the locals. And there's a local woman who's a bit mad.
Yeah.
Now, I know her, but I choose to sort of stay away because it scares you a bit, doesn't it, when something's like that and it's unpredictable. So, when I was in the little corner shop, she came in, right? She screams a lot, just screams for the sake of it. And you don't know if she's upset or if she's just doing it for attention, then the scream will go from screaming to laughing. So you're like, oh, what's going on? And it was like rush hour. It was like rush hour time in this shop. And she chose to go in then. And she doesn't work, so it was like, why is she coming in now? She's had all day to go in. Just picked the busy time. And she was like about 3 places in front of me. And she was only buying a Yorkie and some earbuds. Right? And I thought,
A Yorkie and some earbuds?
yeah, and I thought, what's the rush? You've come at the wrong time and you bought stuff that could have waited. You should never have to rush out for a Yorkie or an earbud, is what I'm saying. Right? And I ended up sort of going, I can't stand this. And I left. Now, that was me being like I would expect the scorpion to be, or the lizard.
I don't know what you're talking about now. I don't know where the... Okay, what do you mean?
No, I'm just saying how, like, I chose that woman could be dangerous, so I'll leave her to it. And that's where nature kicks in. And you go, I don't want to be here. I don't know what she's going to do. She's unpredictable. I'll pop back later. And then, I look out, I can see the shop. I saw her go, and she was, like, laughing to herself again and trying to climb up some ladders. And I thought, once she's gone, I'll nick back. I don't know what my point was. I don't know.
Oh, he's only got to raise it down.
That's the jingle for Karl's diary. We have bacon and egg on toast. I'm eager to get through the brown sauce, as the bottle is too big to go in any cupboard, so it has to be left on the sideboard. So I had about 4 dollops of the stuff. I love that because, that made it into the diary. He's concerned about the fact that brown sauce is too big, so he's rushing through it.
I know, but I'm just saying the kitchen isn't that big, and it looks messy when you leave stuff out, doesn't it? And we've got this giant brown sauce bottle, and I don't want to chuck it away because that'd be a waste.
So you're having brown sauce and everything, your cornflakes,
basically, yeah.
in your tea. Yeah. A wasp got in the flat. You know trouble's brewing. It was massive, the biggest wasp ever. Suzanne asked me to get it out, but I wanted to take a picture of it first. I was getting my phone ready when it flew at me. I reckon the sting on it could have killed a kitten.
So specific.
It ended up flying out the window on its own. Drama averted.
Oh, God.
We went out for tea. You're always in a cafe. That's what, this diary, you spend so much time in a cafe. There were loads of flying ants. I kept kicking the table because I could feel them on my legs. I wouldn't be that jumpy normally, but I still had flashbacks of the giant wasp from the morning. Suzanne told me to stop being stupid because I was ruining her night out.
A night out in a cafe? Brilliant. Oh,
what was it, her birthday?
And flashbacks from an incident. Yeah. Like he's some sort of, war veteran. What is it? It's the wasp. It could have killed a kid.
Bought some wallpaper. We got back and got on with it. The wall that we've papered before has got a big mirror under it. We papered on top of it again. I ended up reading the phrase book while Suzanne did the rest of the tidying up. Now, what's your phrase book? This is just you trying to master English, is it?
It's just a book that tells you little sayings and how they came about.
An interesting phrase is potluck. It came about when all people ate is stews. They used to chuck all sorts of stuff into the stew. You stuck your spoon in, and sometimes you got something nice like beef, or you could end up with a bit of frog. It's potluck.
Good, isn't it?
That's what it said in the book, did it?
A bit of frog.
Got up and checked the wallpaper out. There are loads of air bumps and it's buckled on the joints. I wish we'd never done it. Suzanne said the washer was broke and it's out of its warranty. She called up the people who made it and they said it will cost £150 to fix. I don't know how they know that when they haven't even seen it. I want to smash it to bits and see what they can do for £150. So much anger.
I want to smash it to bits. That'd be great, wouldn't it? 150, you sure? Come round.
Yeah.
And it's just like a cube that's been through one of those car crushers. Yeah. 150 quid, that's 150 quid, fix it.
I watched the news and calmed down a bit because there was a story about some Siamese twins who are having an operation. They've got 2 heads, 4 arms, 2 legs, 1 liver. The doctor said they will have 1 leg each. I felt bad worrying about the washer when people have bigger problems like the Siamese twins. Ricky and Steve asked me to do a poem about 1 day a week, so I thought I would do one today. I can't obviously do it justice, so I should let the master read it.
You've done another poem?
Yeah, you said, just do one. If you have a day where you've had a lot of emotions.
Well, I loved the poem, and so did the listeners, and I knew they would. So if you can do that every week, that'd be a joy for me.
You can't force a poem, though.
No, I know.
So a diary is easy to do because you just write down what you're doing.
But you've got to have some really meaty subject matter to be able to write a poem, Rick, as you'll discover.
I know.
Right, so, you've heard what problems I had that day.
Go on then.
Bubbled wallpaper. What a mess. Washer dry and knackered. What a mess. Siamese twins separated. One leg less.
I don't know what rhyming scheme that is again. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh. Oh, fuck me. Well, there you go. It's the end of episode 2 of series 3 of the Ricky Gervais Show. More next week. More drivel, more diary, another poem, I hope.
Maybe.
Just more news and stuff from me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Goodbye.
And Karl Pilkington.
Right.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Hello, welcome to the Ricky Gervais Show with Guardian Unlimited. Back where it all started. With me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And of course, Karl Pilkington.
Mm-hmm.
The internet phenomenon that is Karl Pilkington.
This could be interesting.
Now that noise, do you want to explain, Steve?
I will. I've just sent a text to this number that some of you may have heard of, 63336. Now, apparently this is a number you can send a text to, and it will answer any question that you have for it. In the past, for instance, I sent it quite profound questions. I once asked it, should they have dropped the second bomb on Nagasaki, and it had a very thoughtful answer. So we've sent it a question, perhaps equally thoughtful. Karl Pilkington believes in ghosts. Is he an idiot?
Now, we sent that because this is the Halloween special. These podcasts are 3 one-off free specials, and they're free because we want to thank people who paid for the audio books we did, the last 2 series. So thank you for that. I've just bought a flat in New York, and Steve's just bought a lovely BMW.
Mercedes.
Oh, is it Mercedes?
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. I haven't
it's
seen it yet. Carl's having his kitchen done and his boiler replaced. He's still not happy. But yes, thank you. The back catalogue is still available in audiobooks on iTunes, but these are 3 free ones.
Anyway, the question we asked, 63336, Karl Pilkington believes in ghosts. Is he an idiot? And this is the response. Unusually, producer Karl Pilkington is both an idiot and a comic genius. His humour is not to everyone's taste, however.
That's amazing.
That's the response. But it's curious because it doesn't really answer our question about ghosts.
Send them, do you believe in ghosts?
Okay.
This is the Halloween special, of course. That's why we're talking about ghosts. Karl, do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen like a proper ghost.
So why do you believe in something that there's no evidence for?
Yeah, but why are we here then? If it is just sort of you're born, right? And we are useless. At least other creatures, when they're born.
Well, you speak for yourself.
No, but they're born. Other creatures are born to do a job, aren't they? When a bee's born, you know what that's going to be doing. It hasn't got any options. That's got a job to do. And it does that job and it dies, and the next one comes along.
We asked it, do you believe in ghosts? The existence of ghosts is not proven. Many experiments have claimed to identify ghosts, but none have been scientifically sound.
Excellent. See, that's a sensible, intelligent, logical, thoughtful answer.
Weird things have happened to me when I was living at home, and I was in bed one night.
Where do you live now?
No, but I was at my first home.
Your parents?
Yeah, my mum and dad's. So I'm in bed, and I'm lying there, and you get that sense of like, there's something going on. Right. And I sort of look over my quilt, and there's nothing there. Thinking it's weird that. So turn me back on it. I'm thinking I don't want to know. If there is something there, I don't want to know. Right? So I'm turning me back on it. But then there's like a really high-pitched noise, right? Sort of the hairs on my back are like going up a bit. And I'm like, I don't like this. And it's the high-pitched noise.
You had a hairy back even as a kid?
No, but everyone's got little hairs on them, haven't they? Everyone's got little tiny hairs on them and stuff. And I thought, I can't stand this. And I turned around, put the light on, legged it downstairs. Right? And my mum was saying, what are you doing? I'm going, I don't know. So I was in bed.
So, what are you telling me for?
Because it's weird, isn't it? It's that thing of...
what do you think would be weirder that no one ever died at 11:15 when you were in bed?
No, but that's when all the weirdness was going on. That's when the tone was happening, my back was getting itchy and stuff. And
coincidence.
And I went down and watched telly, went back up to Con and that, but that's when her spirit had sort of...
No.
Ah, okay, right, interesting. No, this is where we get into the facts.
So Hilda's spirit
that's whizzing round my bedroom, because my bedroom was right next door to theirs.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, that's one.
Why do they whiz round when they die? Why do spirits whiz round when they die?
Because they're going, where am I going?
Are they?
They're whizzing round, aren't they? Am I going down? Am I going up?
No, that's calm.
No, but
going the wrong way.
Yeah, but it's not going to be easy, is it? How do you think it works?
It doesn't work.
But once again, it's not proof of anything, Karl. Beyond the fact that you were a child in bed.
Why did your dad ask what time she died?
No, he just sort of, what do you say to someone when it's awkward, isn't it? When someone gives you bad news, so you just think, well, can I ask?
What time is that? Sorry?
No, just go,
exactly what time did she die?
My wife passed away.
Yeah,
what time is that?
No, not exactly. He just said, that's bad. When did that happen?
And he said, well, thanks for asking.
Quarter to 11.
I remember.
Why did